Oh, okay. I don't know why my mic audio was muted, man. That's weird. Like, it's my desktop version. It's my desktop setting. It's not supposed to be muted. What the heck? But anyways, as I was saying, it is Friday, of course, so we're streaming. We're making a tier list because we haven't made a tier list since the last tier list, which was last patch. And the new patch has been out for like a week and a half, so we've had some time to test out the changes, test out the new champion, and we're going to see where everything places. So, yeah, we also have crazy low latency today because, of course, no need to worry about stream sniping or anything. Pretty basic screen here, so I don't need, like, super high resolution playback. So, yeah, if you say something in chat, then, yeah, I will see it instantly, and you'll be able to see my response instantly. It's crazy! Anyways, I guess let's just get right into it and start placing some champions. So, of course, we have S+, S, A, B, C, D, F. We've got basically a massive tier list right here. I'm not sure if all the tiers will be used. Like, I don't know if anybody is truly F tier, but yeah, we'll just start placing people. So Androxus is always the first one. He's kind of a baseline. So yeah, we're just gonna go in alphabetical order, by the way, guys, in chat. So, yeah, he's kind of the baseline. He's kind of like where we put him. We'll kind of decide where we put all the other champions because he's the first one. So Androxus, I mean, he's pretty strong as a flank. You know, he's got good mobility. He's got a good, primary fire. His reversal is decent, although a little bit buggy sometimes. His ult is decent, although it doesn't apply cauterize. So, yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of good stuff with Androxus, but he did get a nerf to Cursed Revolver recently, where it got quite a bit less damage at range. I was actually surprised how much of a difference it was. So, yeah, he doesn't have as much poke as he used to last patch. So, I forget where we put him last patch. I think we put him like S last patch. I'm inclined to put him, A for Androxus. Let's see what chat is saying. A, Andros A, S, S, S+? Ooh, S+. I mean, the higher skill ceiling you get, like the higher skill player you are, like if you go from, like say Platinum, he's like here, then you go up to Diamond, then you go up to Masters. That's kind of how Androxus works. So, S+, I don't know. S tier? I'm seeing a lot of S's, I'm seeing a lot of A's. I'm definitely not putting him B. He is not a B tier champion. Oh my goodness. So many A's, so many S's. I'm seeing a lot more A's now in the chat. Tell you what. As a baseline, right? As a baseline, let's put him here. Especially considering, he kind of changes the higher skill you have. Like, the higher skill you have with him, the higher up he goes. But average, I think, probably about here, right? Oh my goodness, we had a wall of A's, now we have a wall of S's. And we have this rebel over here saying D. Yes, put him in D tier. I agree. Chunchumaru? Is that how you say that? I don't know. Alright, well now the wall of S's is saying to put him here. Fine, I'll put him in S. There. Alright. Next up, Ashe. Ashe didn't really get changed this patch, I don't think. And she is still a really strong tank. Really strong off tank. She can kind of point tank well. She's got a lot of crowd control. Her ult is superb. Ashe is S+, says Pedro. I'm not sure whether these A's and S's are for Ashe or Androxus yet. She's another one I'd definitely say to put in S or S+. Like, at least S. I mean, she is really strong. Torvald in S tier. How about no? Ashe A. I mean, I don't really think she's A. She is really strong. I mean, you get that combo where you like shoulder bash and then shoot somebody at the same time. You've got two forms of crowd control. Pretty much nobody's going to touch the point. Like if you're playing Inara into her and you're not going Mother's Grace, you're not going to touch the point. Her shield is good. I think she's S. I'll just leave her here. Yeah, not necessarily like above or behind Androxus, because I'm going to separate these out later based on to like flank gets a section, the damage gets a section, then tanks get a section, stuff like that. You know, in each tier itself. Alright, next up, Atlas. He's an interesting tank. He's a very difficult tank to play compared to some of the other ones. And, well, he can't point tank very well, in my opinion. I mean, he's got his shield, but it has such a lengthy cooldown. All his cooldowns are, like, phenomenally long. Or, just, they're really, really long. His crowd control is nice, but his ult, I mean, I don't know how big of an impact that really has on a game. His damage is good, though. He's got one of the higher DPS among the tank class, and he can snipe, which is something pretty unique for a tank. So, I think I want to settle on B. What's chat saying? I'm seeing a C in there. Atlas S+, even a solo tank? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's higher than Ashe. That makes no sense. I'm seeing a few A's. I'm seeing a few B's. A+, A's. A at least. Atlas hard to play, but he's A. E tier. There's not even an E tier Portal Master. I mean, the thing with crowd control, though, is resilience exists, and it's really cheap. So you get that against Atlas, all of a sudden, I mean, he doesn't have that much health, although he does have his rewind. I mean, I guess you could make the same case for Ashe, but she also has good damage, more health, better shield. Or not really better shield. I don't know. Atlas is at max A. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think he's... If we do put him in A, he's not going to be particularly high in A. That's what I'm thinking. Alright. Let's do Barik. Barik next. Well, my heart wants me to put him right here, S+ for my boy Barik, but I think we all know that's not the case. So Barik, I mean, he's a decent point tank. He's got a good shield, turrets help, he can get a lot of damage, but he has no crowd control. And he's got a very, very squishy head. So, in a hit scan meta like we kind of have right now, his head hitbox really hurts him. So, I'm seeing a lot of B's. I'm seeing a few S's, S+. B for Barik. B for Barik makes sense. Better than Atlas. I mean, if Barik goes in B, I also feel like we should put Atlas in B, because I see these two kind of on the same level. Like, maybe it's something like this, is what I see. But, I don't really know. I mean, this is a tier list with chat's input, so, I mean, it's up to you guys. Barik is good because he can abuse the shield a lot. Yeah, shield dancing is a thing. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not as strong as he could be. Are you going to stream gameplay today? No, I'm not. No, this is just a tier list creation with chat. You know, pretty chill. We're just dragging some squares with faces on it. You know. Alright, I'm going to leave Barik here. We're probably going to go back later in the tier list once we've got a lot more people placed here. And we're probably going to do some adjusting later, by the way. So, yeah, this probably isn't final. Just a heads up. Alright, let's see. Bomb King. Alright, Bomb King. I'm not sure if he's still S. Because, again, hit scan meta, Victor, Kinessa, Strix exist, Lian exists, and he struggles at range. So, I'm thinking solid A. The question is, how do we want to order this with, like... I'm going to put tanks, like, at the back as we order things. So I think I'll do, like, flanks ahead of damage, then tanks, then supports, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, let's do A. Let's do A for now. Because he's got some great bursts, he's really, really strong. But snipers exist, Lian exists. He's got his counters. I mean, he isn't that good in at range, so that's kind of a problem for him. All right, next up, Buck. He is super strong. He's very, very strong. Bounce House exists. Ensnare, it's fine. I mean, he doesn't have a bad talent, and he's got good damage. He's got good survivability. And y'all are saying freaking D, B, and C. What the heck? Hold up. Are we playing the same game here? Are we playing the same game of Paladins Champions of the Realm? Because I don't think he's down here. There's no way. He is good at A. Y'all saying A? Buck can't go above BK? I mean, Buck can kind of kill BK, though. Alright, let's see the chat. S, A or S, S, A, A. Yeah, he's another one, like, kind of straddling the line here. I mean, we could put him A, if Andrew is S, so is Buck. I kind of like that idea. So, like, this. Andrew is way better. Yeah, but Buck is also pretty good, too. I don't know. High A. Buck is A. You know what? I'll leave him here for now. I'll leave him here, straddling the line between A and S. Kind of like that. How about that? Because, well, he doesn't have as much poke as other flanks. And you do kind of rely on kills. If you don't get kills, like you jump in, you're going to die unless you can get a kill. Whereas like Androxus or Evie or Maeve or any of those other flanks have more escape options, which is a bit better, I guess. So, yeah, we can probably put him here for now. But yeah, he is pretty strong, and he does counter people, especially if you go like Bounce House and you stomp on somebody while they're in their movement ability. It cancels the movement ability. I mean, he's pretty good. Alright, let's see. Cassie. She just got some solid damage. I mean, she's got damage on top of damage. You know, you get your blast shot combo up. You go big game into tanks like Raum, and she demolishes. Alright, what's chat saying? C for Cassie. I mean, if this were an alphabetical order tier list, then we would definitely put Cassie in C, but this isn't alphabetical order tier list. Let's see. Cassie A for annoying AF. S. B. I don't think she's a B tier champion because, I mean, she's got decent DPS. She's got pretty much infinite poke. I mean, she has no fall off. It's just a matter of hitting her projectiles at longer ranges. And then, you know, blast shot combo exists. Tank killer talent exists. And if you're really a professional, you can definitely go for, you know, exaction and pull that one off. Don't listen to your bronze chat, Andrew A. Yeah. Let's leave her here. Now, the question is she above or below Bomb King? I would... I mean, this is interesting, because she has more poke at range than Bomb King. That's for sure, because her projectiles travel faster, they're easier to hit at range. So, there's that. Whoa, lots of below BKs. Huh. Cassie better than BK? BK is better? I'm seeing a lot of BK is better. Lots of below BK? Are you sure? I mean, I guess... I think... Hold on. I want to do some quick maths here. Hold on. Paladins.gamepedia. hold on. What's their DPS? How fast do they shoot? So that's 680 every 0.75 seconds. Okay. Bomb King. I'm just curious who faster shot. Okay, so Bomb King actually does fire faster. So yeah, I guess he does have more DPS close range. So yeah, I guess we can put him... We can put BK above Cassie. That makes sense. But she does have more range than BK, and I guess technically she does have slightly more burst if you use Blast Shot combo. Yeah, we'll leave her here for now. Of course, if this were waifu tier list, easy, but... yeah. Alright, Corvus! Is he still up here? That is the question, because he did get a pretty heavy nerf this patch to his Life Rip card. Instead of giving 25% max, which was absolutely absurd, it now gives him 15% max. So it's basically going from Life Rip 2.5 on 2 targets to Life Rip 1.5 on 2 targets. So he's probably not still S+, but he's still a really strong flank for really strong support for the fact that, you know, he can heal across the map. Any champion, you know, Maeve is on the other side of the map, you know, behind like 5 different walls. All you gotta do is heal your tank, and then you can also heal Maeve for a lot. So, I think for that reason alone, he's still S tier. As well as he's got a good damage build. You know, damage Corvus is pretty strong. If you go Stunning Visage, you can really kill stuff quite effectively. So, I'm gonna leave him S. And, yeah, with the ordering of things, I'm gonna put flanks, and then damage, and then tanks, and then supports. So this doesn't necessarily mean that Androxus is better or worse than Corvus. It just means that I'm putting Corvus back here to group him up with any supports we put up there in the future. Alright, next, Dredge. D for Dredge, alphabetical order. Now, I don't know. I've grown to like Dredge a little bit more since my last tier list. I think last tier list I put him like D or C, I forget. He might still be D or C, honestly. But he does have quite a lot of sustain in his loadout, which is nice. And if you actually hit your shots reliably, I mean, he does have some decent DPS. C or B? I'm seeing lots of C's. I'm seeing an F. Oh, jeez. Lots of C's, lots of B's. I mean, it does depend, like, who you're going up against, though, because the higher up in skill you go, the harder it is to play Dredge. Because, you know, if you're in a low-skill environment, where people don't know how to spread out, or people just group up and rush the point or something like that, then Dredge is going to work phenomenally, because he can just spam all of his explosives there and kill everybody. But the higher up you go, the less spread out people are going to be, the less effective his spam is. So then you have to rely more on hitting your shots and stuff, and as far as that goes, I feel like there are better options. Like, really, then the only thing he has above other champions is his sustain. So, I'm still seeing... Well, I'm seeing a lot of Bs, but they're all from the same person. Trying to inflate the chat and make it look like there's more Bs. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him in C. I'm gonna leave him C. Hurl... Yeah, I know Hurl is a thing, but if you actually look at it, it's pretty low DPS. It's like 800 a second, or something like that. It's not the highest DPS in the world, but it does have, of course, that sustain. You can heal for 400 per Hurl with the right card, so that's a thing too. Alright. A lot of B's from the same people again. A lot of C's from the same people again. If you could do me a favor, chat, if you have an opinion on something, like say C or say B, only say it once, okay? Please? Because inflating the chat, spamming multiple times from the same person isn't helpful, right? If we're going, like, by democracy here, then, like, seeing a C from, like, 5 different people is worth more than seeing a C from one person 5 times. So, don't spam your replies, please. Just, you know, once every maybe, like, 10 seconds or something like that would be fine. Alright, I'm going to leave him in C. I'm going to leave him in C. I think it's a better rating than what we gave him last time, because I think last time we put him in D. I've grown to like him a little bit more, but there are better options. Bomb King exists, Cassie exists, many other champions exist. The next champion on this list exists, Drogoz. He's good. Fusillade is good. Worm Jets can be helpful on certain maps. He does have a lot of bursts, of course. He does have the fair and balanced combination, which is pretty much instant death for most squishies. But the problem is, again, hit scan. Androxus exists, Buck to a lesser extent exists, but mainly Kinessa, Strix, Victor, Lian, same culprits. Also Cassie to some extent if you're good at Cassie. So the problem, I'm not leaving him in B right now, by the way. I'm waiting for chat replies, but yeah, he's good when he's not getting countered. Like when he doesn't have too many counters in a game, he is phenomenal. He's gonna stomp you. But when he gets those counters, then you got a problem. So, yeah. Like, if he's not going to counter in a game, I'd say here. But if he does have a counter in a game, like, here, so maybe we could put him, maybe we could compromise and do, like, below Cassie and A. Just to compromise, because he's really good when he's not going to counter. But the problem is, there's so many counters, and a lot of people play those counters because they're just really good picks right now. So, like, bottom of A, I think would be fine here. Yeah, low A. This is a low A in the DPS category. Alright. There's more transparency and democracy in this list. Oh gosh. Let's not talk about that democracy, okay, Richie Lopez? We're just trying to not think about that right now. It's a mess. We're just playing... We're not playing some Paladins, but we're thinking about Paladins right now, okay? Alright. Next up, Evie. Evie is another one of those champions. You play her well, she's phenomenal. You don't play her well, she's F. Like, straight up, if you're bad at Evie, like down here. So, yeah, that is. She's an interesting one. She's tough. Yeah, I agree, Lemire. If you master Evie, you can become godly. Yes, she is super strong in the right hands. But the problem is, those right hands are few and far between. So, all right. I'm seeing S. I'm seeing A. I'm seeing B. She's so difficult. We need like a master's tier list, and we need like a platinum or like gold tier list. Just separate them into two different tier lists. So then on the master's tier list we'd have her here, and then on the gold tier list we'd have her like here. Alright. She's S. I mean, full potential S, yes. We gotta define the person playing them as skilled or not. Yeah. Alright, what is the average player? The average player is like platinum or something, right? Top A is fair. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I'm gonna put her below Buck, though, because, well, Buck, he's easier to get the most out of. And in some ways, he's sort of, you know, he just beats up Evie, because he's got a lot of health. He's got the burst. So I think, like, here would be a decent settling point, considering full potential's up here, but most people are, like, down here. So, kind of in the middle. Which is a good champ, the skill it requires, and you put in the champ shouldn't change how good the champ is. That's true, I guess. Could probably put her here. I'm gonna leave her here for now. This is an iffy one. We're probably gonna have to come back to this when we get more people on there. Hey, Darkseeker, what's up? Drogoz is higher than Cassie because Nimble was patched and now works on his flight boosters. Oh wait, Nimble worked? Oh, I didn't know Nimble worked on that. But still, though, Darkseeker, like, hit scan. The poor hit scan. I mean, this guy up here, this guy's a problem. Snipers, you know, that's why I'm putting him here. Bottom of A, it's a compromise. Because when he doesn't have his counters, he's like up here. But when he does have his counters, he's like down here. So that's why he's there. Alright, Fernando. He has had some phenomenal buffs. I mean, this is... Last patch, I don't think we gave him enough credit because I didn't realize how good Aegis was back then, but Aegis is super strong. I mean, 4-second cooldown on a shield that has like 5,000 health. I mean, it's really good. He's pretty darn good. I don't think he's S-tier material because his DPS is still kind of crap. But, I mean, I'd be fine putting him above Atlas A because his shield, Fernando makes a normal team, a hot team. Yes! But yeah, I mean, shield, phenomenal. You can save your teammates. I mean, you just get in front of your teammates, body block for them when someone's trying to flank them. He's so annoying. He's the most annoying champion in some cases like that. But his flamethrower could be better. And if you're not going Scorch, you're not getting a lot of DPS, which is the problem. So you either have to go for like max shields, or you have to go off tank. And then if you go off tank, his shield becomes less powerful. But yeah, he's much better than he was a few patches ago, so. Alright. Well. Yeah, A or B seems about right. Low B or higher. Oh, I don't think low B. I'm definitely not putting him below Atlas. Nah. Why is Ashe in A? Ashe isn't in A. She's here. S. This is S. Alright. Well, let's see. And keep in mind, we're probably going to rearrange some of these once we get everybody on the tier list. We're placing people, initially placing right now. Alright, Furia. Furia is A. I'm 4 universes ahead of you. Seems about right. I mean, healing is solid. Damage is solid once you get the healing up. You know, or the Wrath Bar or whatever it is. Stun is fine. Ults is pretty good for pushing in. So, I mean... Yeah, just a solid placement here would be fine. Furia top B. Whoa, I don't know about B, Chief. I don't know about B, Chief. It's just positioning with Furia? Yeah, kind of. The PTS are open. Mate, the PTS has been down for like 2 weeks. Maybe more. Like, this is a live patch now. Being honest, Furia can't sustain 2 tanks enough. She goes on B. Well, just go to beam heal stomp. Easy. Nah, I think I'll put her here. I'll put her here for now. I mean, she's a solid healer. You know, she gets the job done effectively. She's not necessarily a bad pick, so I'm just going to leave her here. You know, pretty much second healer on the list so far, so. Alright, Grohk. Damage build is up here. Healer build, I think, is still, like, down here. Because, I mean, oh, hold on, we gotta keep our organizing straight first, but, like, his heals, like, the totem placement, yeah, it got fixed a little bit, but Totemic Ward is still pretty crap for healing. And, I mean, Spirit's Domain, yeah, it's fine, but it's 700 a second. Pip heals more now with his healing talent per second. And his totems can get destroyed. That's still a problem. And they still aren't that impactful in terms of heals. Grohk damage is B, Grohk healer C. Yeah, I'm going to leave him C. Because, you know, he's actually a great healer. I mean, he can do decent in the right hands, but yeah, pretty much only decent. Like, still, I'd rather just take, like, a Pip or, like, there's just better options. There are much better options for support. For damage build, he's definitely among the higher... He definitely score higher for damage build, but we're going for, like, intended use here. Healer. So, yeah, let's put him here. Rover. Root is super powerful. His root talent, I mean, just root them in place. Root multiple people in place. And then it also reduces the cooldown of your heal with Fatalis. And he's got phenomenal group healing. I mean, he's got arguably the best group healing in the game. Single target, definitely not, but group healing, phenomenal. Ult's pretty good. Damage is pretty good. I mean, he's a hybrid healer. I mean, you can do a lot of damage and heal simultaneously. So, yeah, I'd say A. Now, the question is, do we put him above or below Furia? Actually, Grover's S? Ooh, controversial opinion. Put him here? Nah. Grover's better than Furia, Furia's low A. I agree with that. I think I would definitely put him, like, above Furia for sure. Above for sure. Because that root is so strong. Group healing is so strong. He's a good healer. He's in a great spot right now. Yeah, lots of people in chat saying above Furia. Alright, that was fairly easy. Grover, best sniper in the game, don't at me. Definitely best sniper healer, for sure. Alright. Yeah, let's leave him there. Pretty easy. Imani! She got buffed like crazy this patch. Ice Dance, so much faster. It feels great to use. Pyromania, reliable area damage. You, of course, have Inferno Cannon, which is still absurdly strong. Her ult is absurdly strong if you use it in the right circumstance. Her mobility is pretty decent. Lots of S's. I agree. Although Rory is spamming S like 4 times in a row, I don't appreciate that. B? What are y'all saying B for? She's not B. She's higher than B, for sure. This patch, definitely higher than B. So the question is, A or S? No one picks Imani? I mean, they should be picking her more this patch. She is scary. She's scary. A, because area damage nerfed and damage as well. Now, the area damage got buffed, but solo target damage with Pyromania is lower now if you go the Fire Stance. But you also have Ice Stance, which is solid DPS if you need solo target damage, so it's just situational. I'm seeing lots of A's in the chat. I think I'm seeing more A's than S's. So, A below Cassie. Yeah, that seems about right. She's definitely in a better spot than she was last patch. I think last patch we put her like B or something. So yeah, solid A. That seems about right. Okay. Well, Imani is just unexplored? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, definitely gonna be playing her more this patch. I mean, she is so much fun. I really like the changes she got this patch. Alright. Inara. She got nerfed, but she's still strong. I think we can agree. Still S. I mean... Oh no, she got only 30% extra healing now instead of only 40%. Oh no, she has 40% damage reduction on Mother's Grace instead of 50% damage reduction. She's trash now. No, she's S. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave her here. Easy. Easy choice. Alright, I owe you a placement on this list. I gotta stop making that joke. Okay. Yeah, IO. Her dog is super helpful, although it did get nerfed last patch. For healing, it's good solo target healing, 1,000 heals per second plus 15% damage reduction if you use the talent. But group healing isn't as great, in my opinion. I'm seeing quite a few A's in the chat. IO's S to A. I don't think she belongs in S. Because, well, I mean, dog did get nerfed last patch. So... S, maybe S+. IO's A. Oh, I don't think S+. She's not going above all these four. Definitely not. S for 5-man push. I mean, yeah, that is pretty good. Weapon is kind of meh. Actually, I disagree. Her weapon is pretty decent. I mean, it's like... It's almost 800 DPS a second. It's pretty much the same DPS as Damba's weapon, but she has so much more usability on it and so much more range. It dies too fast? Yeah, that is the thing. It did get nerfed. A above or beneath Atlas? Well, the way I'm doing this is I'm separating these guys by class. So we have flanks, then DPS, then tanks, then healers. So she's not going to go like above Atlas like this. At least not for now. We might change that. Below Corvus, I say probably next to Corv. I'm seeing like lower than Grover A tier, and then I'm also seeing like S tier below Corvus. I'm confused. I'm confused. Still some annoying stuns. Yeah, she does have the annoying stuns too. Bottom of S for 5-man push and overtime trigger. Yeah, you know what? I think I agree with that. Because, yeah, you can have your entire team pushed up, whereas, like, some healers, if you don't have an IO and you're playing, like, with Grover on point and he sits on point, then he's not going to be able to heal. So, yeah, that 5-man push is good. You just got to be more careful with the dog. She's a tough one. We'll probably have to come back to her later, but for now I'm going to leave her there, just because Corvus is lonely. I want Corvus to have a friend. So, there. Alright. Jennifer. Heals are garbage, but Luminary exists. Damage build is kind of good. He's got good crowd control, you know? I mean, you go power Cosmium and you can screw over a flank. So, Jenos is only S for Luminary. Without it, he is B for balance. Yeah. I mean, his solo target heals, it's good over time, but he's the least bursty healer, pretty much. Alright, what's chat saying? Chat is all over the place. We got a few B's, we got S's, we got A. He's always been S. I don't know about that. His heals... His heals suck. I mean, Luminary is pretty much what carries this champion to being high on tier lists. Let's be real here. But I'm seeing more S's in the chat. S tier and A. I mean, you also do have to depend on your teammates, but that's kind of the case with all healers anyways. You gotta depend on your teammates in order to do good things with that Luminary buff. If not, then they're just gonna be dying because of lack of heals, and then you're gonna lose. Jenos A tier, horrible heals, but very good in other aspects. Yeah, that's kind of what that is, yeah. Good pocket, not good other than that. Yeah, tanks do struggle. Like, if you're going a 2-tank comp, it does kind of feel bad. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll just... He's another one. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to put him below these two, though, because his healing isn't that good, but... Still, yeah, the damage buff, like what Darkseeker said. I mean, I'm not putting him S+, no way. But what he said, you know, two people of equal skill, if one of them has the Jenos buff, then they're going to win. So, yeah. And keep in mind, we'll probably rearrange. I want to get everybody on this list, though, before we start rearranging stuff. And he dominates every rank? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave him here. Let's move on. We got to move on. We got to keep placing these pin champions here. Khan! He used to be so good. He's still not that good anymore. I mean, I think we placed him C tier last time. And I think that's where he should go again. Because, I mean... His shield is just worse than Fernando's in every aspect. It's smaller, it's not as good. His heal is okay, I guess, but ever since the Vortex Grip nerf, I mean, he's never felt the same. Kind of sad. Khan is the best healer. Yes, Khan goes here in the healing category, obviously. Nah, let's leave him here. Let's just move on. Poor boy. Poor boy. Alright. Kinessa. 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 Essakin. Kinessa-kin. Ooh. Kinessa? 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 I mean, she's crazy. She's crazy this patch. You know, ever since they like buffed the fire rate of her sniper rifle, I feel like she's just been super duper strong. Especially, you know, going up against a good Kinessa, it's painful. You know, they go steady aim, and all of a sudden, each shot she fires, which takes like, 1.2 seconds to charge, deals like 1,500 damage, 2,100 damage on a headshot. She can one-shot people, and she counters this boy, and this boy. So I think she's solid ass. I think she's solid ass. Anywhere higher than A is fair? I agree. Let's leave her there. She is... I placed her so wrong on my previous tier list. I think last tier list I placed her like middle of A. That was wrong. she's busted. Especially if you know where some of the good spots are to snipe on certain maps. Like, I know they patched the one on Frog Isle, but other maps, like, she's beast. And, I mean, all you need is good aim. And in this game, like, good aim isn't particularly hard to get because the hitboxes are so fat. So, yeah, definitely yes. Alright, Koga. I know on console he's annoying, but... what does chat think? I'm gonna leave this one completely up to chat. I don't know where to put this guy. Erlenmeyer's saying B. B, B, C, B, 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 B. B? I'm seeing lots of Bs. I'm kind of inclined to agree with that. I mean, he's good, but... Very good on console A tier. Yeah. Well, I have no console experience, so I'm not gonna treat this as the console tier list. Yeah, lots of Bs. Okay, we'll leave him here. I'm seeing majority Bs in the chat. Lex! He got buffed this patch. He feels really good, in my opinion. I mean, definitely not like S material, but like, also B. I think this patch he could go above Koga because the mobility buff he got, his slide feels superb. And Death Hastens is a thing, you know, almost 1,000 damage headshots, pretty good. Pinpoint accuracy, you know, that's nice. And his Retribution target, that got a lot more reliable now. And the thing with Lex is, if you have your Retribution target and you have more control over that, you can control, you know, who you get 40-50% lifesteal on, you can control who you can see through walls, so that's good. Alright. You gotta stop spamming. Don't spam your letter over and over again, RB, or anyone else in the chat thinking of doing that. Okay. High B. I mean, I'd either say high B or low A. For now, since we need more people in B, I'm gonna leave them there. Again, we'll probably come back to this one. Lex is drafted in the PPC now to hard counter other flanks. Interesting. I haven't really been I haven't really been seeing like any pro stuff that recently. I've never really followed the pro scene, but that's interesting. I mean, he's definitely better this patch. I don't remember where we put him. I think we put him like C last patch, so this is already an upgrade from where we put him. I think. I forget where my tier list is. Also, I forgot to make this full screen again. Here, is that better? There we go. All right, Lian. Screw this champion. I don't like her. I want to put her in F, but this would be a completely unfair and biased tier list if we did that, so... although, if enough of you said F, then we could put her there. But still, that wouldn't be realistic. If we're being... Lian F tier for having Jenos hold bound to her Q! Yes, Darkseeker, we need the Lian song in here. The Lian diss track. Nah, let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic. She does have Jenos hold bound to her Q, as you say in the chat, or in the song. I mean, I'm inclined to put her like above Drogoz because she counters Drogoz to some extent with her hit scan, with her auto aim, all that stuff. Andro diss track, please. I mean, I know there's like an Andro song in the works, but not a diss track. But, I mean, she can still get countered. It's aimbot, not auto-aim. Yeah, they're both pretty much the same thing. Above Drogoz and below Imani. Yeah, that's kind of where I have her now. I mean, it seems fine to me. Above Drogoz just because she kind of counters Drogoz with hit scan and auto-aim, but other than that, yeah, I mean, she doesn't have crowd control. And, yeah. Reasoning. Logic and reasoning. Be below Barik, the sustain meta and high health meta absolutely dunk Lian. I don't know. I mean, I did get her to level 50, and she is a little bit busted if you can just, you know, aim a little bit. She can crowd a whole team, though. True. And another thing to keep in mind, this guy up here, Jenos, his Luminary buff applies to her entire kit, because everything is considered as a weapon shot. So, and that goes for all damage buffs. So like Furia damage buff, even Drogoz' damage buff. You know, if he spits on a target, and then Lian eminences him, or that target, she's gonna do like 1400 damage. So, yeah. So how does that work? What do you mean? Oh, I have these separated out into like flank then damage. It's organization purposes, and I'll probably like move around later. I'm just getting people on the list, okay? We're not done yet. Okay. Are you saving Vora till last? No, I'm just going in alphabetical order. Wait, Drogoz spit works for other people too? Yeah, it applies a team-wide 25% damage buff for like 2 seconds. It's actually pretty good, and not a lot of people know about it. But like, you can spit on the tank, and then all of a sudden they're dead. So, yeah. Alright. Let's see. Let's go. Let's do Maeve next. Let's just move on. Let's keep getting people on the list, and then we'll have time to adjust. These 3 tiers, I almost feel like I shouldn't have even made like F and S plus tier. Like, we could probably just get rid of them. I don't know. Alright, where do we want Maeve? 30% damage buff? Oh, it's 30? I thought it was 25%. Okay. A. Maybe the same as Evie, A? Yeah. We could put her above Evie, because here's my reasoning, right? Maeve is just an easier version of Evie. So, they both have a lot of mobility, right? Ton of mobility. They both have pretty comparable bursts. It's very similar. But of course, Maeve has an execute talent. She has, you know, another damage buff talent, which I guess is similar to Over the Moon, sort of. But she has more health. She has more damage reduction. She has more sustain. So, yeah, I'm going to put her above Evie for now. Maeve gets wrecked by hit scan. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody gets wrecked by hit scan, sort of. Okay, next, Makoa. He's been getting buffed these patches. I mean, I don't think he's S material. I still don't think he's S material. But half shell is a thing. It's even stronger now because of the change to Barrier Reef and the cooldown we're taking off his shell shield. I mean, you literally don't even need Corvus Pocket now with Dark Gifts for the instant shield reset. So, yeah, we could put Makoa here. Why are y'all saying B? Why are y'all saying B? What? Hold on. Wait, his damage... Wait a minute. Are you guys not... I mean, his shell spin got buffed to 500 damage. What you do, you shoot, hook, shoot, shell spin. That's like 1500 damage. And then he also has this half shell build on top of that. Nah, I'm putting him high A. I'm overruling on this one. I'm putting him high A. You can't counter half shell with Wrecker, you just make it worse. Exactly, and now if you accidentally shoot the shield once with most champions in the game, that's 1 or 2 seconds off the cooldown. So, yeah, and hook exists. I mean, if you're on a good team, and Makoa hooks a champion, all your damage champions are going to focus that hooked champion, and that champion's going to die. He's A. I'm not putting him anywhere near B. Okay, Dumbo. A again. Heals are good. He has a stun. He has a fear. A. Eh? Who is Darkseeker? Darkseeker is the guy who made the all the background music for my regular videos. Not this. This background music is non-copyright sounds, but he also made the Bomb King song at the beginning. Beyond Diss Track. I mean, you can see his music on my channel. Like, just search up Darkseeker 111, you'll find it. Alright. Seeing down by A's. Stun is crazy, he's S tier. Well, resilience exists. A above Furia. Yeah, I guess he does have a bit more group healing than Furia. Unless Furia goes to fire talent, or the beam talent. I agree with that idea, that statement. Here we go. Let's put him there. Alright. Moji. Next up. Just, no. There's so much wrong with her. There's so much wrong. There's so much wrong with Moji. This guy's saying S tier? No. No. No, she's not S. There's so much wrong with her. So, first of all, I think she has the biggest hitbox out of all the flanks. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a minus. Her mobility could be better. She has no vertical mobility. She has short range. She pretty much has barely any poke. And her head hitbox is massive, so she gets countered by hit scan. I don't think she... Like... I'd put her C at the highest. That's my opinion. Especially in higher level matches, like... Good luck doing anything with this champion. See, she's okay if you're good. Okay, I guess. But Moji below Grohk for sure should be D tier. You know what? Just so D tier isn't lonely, I'm leaving her here. She freaking sucks. See, she counters a lot of ground-based champions and is an S tier tank melter. Other than that, her kit is feculent garbage. I don't know, though, because another thing with her, if you use your mobility to engage, good luck retreating with her. She doesn't have any other retreat options. I mean, she just... F tier is only 2, so maybe just 1 tier lower, lol. Yeah, maybe. She eats supports and tanks. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Even Dredge kills Moji? Yeah, kind of. I'm just gonna leave her here. I'm just gonna leave her here for now. Alright. Pip! Pip got buffed. So, more healing. Combat Medic got buffed. You know, 750 per second now. It's a small buff, but it's a buff. And his potion got a second tick off the cooldown. Also, damage build is a little bit more viable now. So, are we finally of the consensus that he's A tier? I've been saying he's good tier for a while now. But, I mean, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Frickin' C. Pip is B plus because he has a huge hitbox. That's true. That's true. You know, into hit scans. That sucks. Alright. Well, if we put any other healers in B tier, Pip will still be the highest in B tier because his healing is still good. But you do have to aim. It's not as reliable as an auto-aim heal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, seeing a lot of Bs in chat too. I am seeing a few As. I agree with that for like healing alone, but I don't know. Let's just keep getting people on this list. Well, Evil Mojo, more buffs for Pip in 2021. Just make his head hitbox smaller, and then we're good, high res. Okay. He has S plus tier with the coordinated double tank, D tier everywhere else. Yeah, he's really good for multiple tanks, but if you don't have a tank and he's playing as a healer, I mean, he's not that great. Okay. Raum. Pip having a huge head only means he's big brain. Yo, Mellow. You're correct. Alright. Raum. Yeah, you're saying B tier. He has no CC immunity in his kit. I mean, most people don't have CC immunity in their kits. And he does technically have CC immunity as far as his ult goes. I mean, on the one hand, he's a 9,000 health demon with among the best mobility in the tank class, among the best DPS in the tank class, and he's got a great ult. So there's that, which would make me put him like A or S. Especially because he shuts down snipers if you just get in their face, you beat them up. But, on the other hand, champions like Cassie, who has big game, Tyra, who has burn monster, Skye, who has debilitate, those champions exist. And they demolish him. So... I don't think he's worse than Atlas, and in the right hands he's really good. It depends on the team comp. It's team dependent. Like, if he's going up against, you know, a sniper and people without that much crowd control, he's just unstoppable. But if you're going up against Cassie and Jenos, good luck living. So, yeah. I'm not putting him below Atlas. I don't think he's, like, I don't think he's worse than Atlas. And in the 1v1, he's gonna shred Atlas completely. Let's do here. Atlas easily counters him. I mean, he kind of counters the run, but, like, in just a raw duel, they have comparable DPS, but Raum just has, like, loads more health. Because he can easily get countered by CC. I mean, I guess he does get countered by CC. I still don't want to put him below Atlas, though. I don't see that working in my head. Alright. Guillotine's in can shred Raum. I mean, sometimes it does, but other times I've guillotined Raum before, and it didn't kill him. It's weird. I don't know. Because Atlas has higher cooldowns? Yeah, Atlas does have pretty high cooldowns. A is fair of Atlas. You know, let's just move on. Let's just move on. We got more champions to place. I'm gonna place everybody here, and then we can argue over should Atlas be down here, should Barik or should Raum be over here. Like, we'll argue about that later. Let's get more people on here. Ruckus, Rucksack. If you're good at Ruckus and if you're on the right map like Ascension Peak, he's gonna dominate. But he can't point tank, and I mean he could be better. He could be better. Ruckus is like EVS when played good and C when played bad. Overall, he is A. A tier. Interesting. I am seeing a few A's. Ruckus can be B tier, B plus, very underrated. I mean, I kind of see that. Below Barik, I don't know. He's a C. He's not C. He's not C. Ruckus is like a worse version of Raum. No, not necessarily, because Ruckus actually does have more bursts than Raum when you use the missiles as well. You know, you shoot at somebody with miniguns, and you also hit them with missiles at the same time. And Ruckus has vertical mobility, so there are things that make him better than Raum, but there's also things that make him worse than Raum. Like health, for example. I'm seeing a lot of A's, I'm seeing a lot of B's. I think I'll put him, like... I think I'll put him in A. But, like, mid. Yeah. And then there's just a wall of B's coming in, but they're from the same two people. Oh, there's a lot. Jeez, as soon as okay, so I have him in B. Everyone's saying to put him in A. Then as soon as I put him in A, there's just a wall of B's on my screen. Why do you guys do it? Make up your mind. Jeez. Jumps into point, puts on shield to ult, dies. Well, that's not how you do that. That's not how you do that. You gotta ult from a good spot. It's about the big brain. And now there's a wall of A's again. Jeez. And we're just putting everybody in A too. That's a little bit weird. We're definitely gonna have to we're definitely gonna have to spread out some of the champions in A later on in the list. Half the roster is A, then are they really A? Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to move some people. I'm gonna move Atlas down here. I'm just gonna start moving a few people out of here. Just to make things a little bit more spread out. Because if everybody is A, then what's really the point of a tier list? So, I guess we're doing that too. We have a lot of tanks in A. We could do something like this. I don't know. You can make like an A- tier? Maybe. I mean, we could do something like this. Just saying. If you want a Ruckus carry in rank, contact me. Yes, contact Meyer. He is a great Ruckus player. Alright. Well, Ruckus higher than Dredge, it's a crime? Nah. Good Ruckus players are scary. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna leave these two tanks in B, just so we don't have as many people in A. That's the only reason I'm moving them there. Alright. Seris. She's like B. She's like B. I mean, her damage is unreliable if you're not close range. Her heals could be better. I mean, her ult is decent. But I don't think she's A. I mean, there are just better options. You know, Grover exists. Furia exists. Damba exists. Ruckus and B, I'm annoyed. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to put everybody in A, because that's just silly. C damage is absolute trash. I mean, if you go for a damage build, her damage can be good. Her ult is good too. The heals are easy, but they're not the best. I know this would be a ranked tier list, but would you ever get around to a fully subjective funness tier list? I mean, I could do something like that, but that would just be like personal opinions. Goodness, we've got such a big divide. Seris is just weird. We've got a whole sect of players who think Seris is like the best ever. She's a phenomenal healer. You got people who find her interesting and get her to like level 400. And then you've got the other part of the player base who's like, this champion is average, mediocre, maybe. And I'm kind of in that category. I don't think she's particularly the best. She can't do anything while healing? Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a channeled heal, and it's more channeled than any of these champions in A. I mean, Io's is channeled, but she still has her dog to attack while she's, like, doing that. And of course, she also has her dog. So, yeah, I'll leave her B. Bottom of B. I mean, I think Pip's heals at this point are actually more reliable than Seris's in terms of, like... Well, not necessarily more reliable, but more potent. Because it's, like, 750 a second, but you also have the potion, and it's all area damage. Whereas Seris's area damage, or area healing falls off, you know, if it's not the main target healing. Let's leave her here. Sha Lin. My opinion still kind of stands that he's just a worse version of Imani, but also Sand Trap exists, and that's an extra 300 damage, so he has 1300 burst, which is insane, so we could put him, like, here. I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think for Sha Lin? He's definitely A, especially if you go against, like, a god-tier Sha Lin. He's probably S, even. You know, you gotta cripple and stuff, too. So, Sha Lin is carried by Sand Trap. I mean... Yeah, I'm seeing a fair bit of S's and a fair bit of A's. Sha Lin is D? Nah, dude. Nah. A above, he's an S tier flank hunter? Yeah, the cripple on his cripple is good, you know. Invisibility, not exactly the best. And, you know, Illuminate exists. But, I mean, you sand trap somebody and then you planted them. They're just gone. They are goner. Alright. Well, we've got people making the case for S. We've also got people making the case for A. Sha kills any flank and can survive for almost the entire match. Yeah. As long as you can aim. Yeah, I'm seeing more S's than I am A's, actually. Alright. You know what? Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him S for now, but I'm going to put him below Kinessa. I still think Kinessa is better. Because, you know, 2100 damage headshot. Alright. How do you do this? Do you consider having a team that communicates or just randoms? I mean, I'm partially going based off of chat suggestions, and I'm also going like, how good are they in most circumstances? Mirage is S tier. What are you talking about, Erlenmeyer? Alright. Well, let's see. Skye. Let's see. Skye healer S. Yes, Skye is here for healers, obviously. Duh. Cosmic Brain. Nah. I mean, she's got good burst. She can sort of do damage to tanks. I mean, she can do good damage against Raum and stuff. But she does have invisibility, which gets countered by Illuminate. She doesn't have any mobility. So, like, I'd put her at the bottom of B, maybe even C. Let's just see what chat is saying. I'm not putting her in the same tier as Moji. I still think she has more to offer than Moji. But, alright, what's chat saying? C, C, D, Skye, B, B. Skye's a D, easily countered. C, C, I think. C's. C's and B's. Seeing a lot of C's. Alright. Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, yeah, having no mobility on the flank kind of screws her. And couple that with invisibility, which gets countered by Illuminate, you know. Could be better. Okay. Strix. He's... I mean, at this point, he's like a worse version of Kinessa, but he's still... He's still, you know... He's still got a sniper rifle. 1200 damage, 1800 damage headshot. He can quickscope. I mean, he's got a reveal. Seeing a few S's. There's this random Arabic guy saying D. Alright. S below Sha? Below Sha, interesting. You went up against the Pro Strix and quit Paladins. Alright. Yeah, I see the case for putting him in S. So, S tier, I think it's still below Kinessa. Do we put him above or below Sha Lin? That's the question, chat. I'm also seeing a few A's, like A above BK. I mean, there is that case too, but also A is really bloated. You think bottom of S? Above, below, above, below Sha? Y'all are kind of split on this. Sha has more mobility and cripple with his shot. That's true. Alright, I'm just gonna throw him here. I think I'm seeing like a tiny bit more above Sha's. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. Little kid. Talus. Where the heck do we put this guy? I mean, I think we just throw him here too. Talus is F. Talus himself, Talus of the Squadron, is saying Talus is F. Bruh. Okay. Let's see what y'all saying. Dead tier? Brain dead tier? Man, these are like some all over the place answers. We got A, C, A, F, B. Oh my goodness. That's all over the place. Alright, let's see. His burst is pretty good. I mean, if you overcharge somebody, that's a lot of damage. His punch, my opinion, is unreliable. It's more of a mobility thing than anything. His teleport is nice, although it can also be camped. Like, you know, this guy, Mr. Burger King, BK up here, he can just camp the portal, instantly kill Talus when he teleports back. And Talus doesn't really have much in the way of crowd control other than his ult and his punch if you can hit it, although, you know, hitting it is hard. Alright. I'm gonna put him in Pip. Or in B. Koga screws Talus over. Talus above Pip. Oh yeah, of course. Talus should be B in front of Pip B. Yeah, I'll leave him here. Okay. Yeah, let's keep placing these guys, then we could start, you know, tooling around. We're almost done placing everybody on the list, and then we'll just, you know, tool them around, move them around. Terminus, easy as. I don't think we're gonna argue with that. I mean, infinite siphon build, plus, you know, a slow, plus literally being able to resurrect yourself on point and explode. It's kinda good. Alright. Are you actually gonna put the... Oh my goodness. Do I need to explain the organization again? I have this organized so we have flanks, then damage, then tanks, then healers. For now, just for organization purposes. Doesn't necessarily mean I think Talus is better than Seris, that's just how I've organized it for now. Okay? Alright. Well yeah, term S. I'm gonna put him below Inara, possibly below Ashe too, because he is melee, which is kind of a setback. You know, I mean, yeah, I guess Nibble exists, and you can. There are ways to get in close, but you know, if you get knocked away from somebody or you get slowed, good luck doing good damage. So that's why I'm putting him below Ashe. Pretty much only reason. But yeah, definitely S. I mean, the Siphon is just nuts. All right, Tiberius. He seems like a just solid A to me. I mean, I'm not sure where we put him in A, but you know, he's got good damage. He's got combat trance, of course, which is how do you counter that? He has a slow on his sword, which is just so annoying to deal with. His ult, I mean, it's pretty average, but the rest of it is strong. Solid A, below Cassie. Ult to enemy dies. Yes. Tony the Tiger has good burst, but when the burst is on cooldown, he's pretty lacking. Mobility has good distance, but no control. CC is only good when burst ability is up. I think he's B. Interesting analysis. I mean, that is a fair point. Tiberius S if you have an IQ above 50. Yeah, but his ult, again, isn't that impactful. And I do agree, when you don't have your combat trance up, I mean, yeah, it's not as impactful. Don't spam B, David Silva. You only need to say a rating once. Spamming it like that is not cool. People choose him for an ability? Yeah, pretty much. Alright, I'm gonna put him like low A. Like, well, low A in terms of the damage class. Not sure whether he goes like above, like who he goes above or below. A better than Imani? Low Lian above Imani. I'm seeing a few above Imani's. Below Lian. I mean, without combat trance, I think he goes here. With combat trance, he goes here. So, in the middle? I don't know. A below Drogoz. That's a hot take. I mean, his mobility is kind of whack. It's not as good as some other people. I don't know. Let's just move on. Let's get the rest of the champions on this list, and then we'll do that. We'll mess around with stuff. Torvald. I mean, he's a good pocketer, but as far as a tank is concerned, he kind of sucks. S+. Yes, Torvald. Big Daddy Torvald. Right up here. Yes. Alright. Well, I mean, if we're being real here, Nullify is pretty good in a lot of circumstances. I mean, you can cancel people's, runs when they're charging up, like it counters Raum to some extent. Torvald actually kind of counters Raum because if this were like a Raum versus Torvald exclusive duel, his overshield, Raum can't charge his healing off that, and then he also nullifies the run, and he's got comparable DPS, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about in general. Pockets are good, but it's reliant on your damage champions, and if you don't have good damage champions to pocket, then, I mean, his DPS is okay. Like, it's good, but he can't hit headshots. And his health, he's got the lowest health pool of any tank. His shield gets countered by Wrecker. And, I mean, he can't point tank to save his life. You just can't. So, I'm thinking, like, probably above Khan for the pockets, when you do get a good pocket, but still pretty low. His ult is always fun, too, but it doesn't have crowd control immunity, which is something like Ruckus ult has crowd control immunity, Alice ult has crowd control immunity, Khan ult has crowd control immunity, Makoa, Fernando, Raum, pretty much. Yeah, literally every single tank up here except for Ashe, who has immortality instead of crowd control immunity, every single one of them has crowd control immunity except Torvald. So, that's kind of a bad thing for his ult. Low damage? I wouldn't say, no, he doesn't have low damage, but it's just hard to capitalize on that damage when you don't have, the survivability of, like, Ashe. But yeah, the shields, the pockets, those are helpful. I mean, you can rack up some hundreds of thousands of shielding in a match just pocketing your damage champions. And if you do pocket a damage champion, then they become OP. He's a tough one. Like, if we're talking exclusively how well can he tank, like, C. But if we're talking, like, pockets, then here. But then if we're talking, like, just in general on a team without good communication, he's, like, here again. What's chat saying? He's such a good flank? What? No. Okay, B-A. Oh, hold on. Why are you talking about Tyra? We're not done with Torvald yet. We're not even talking about Tyra yet. Chill, bro. Chill. Alright, see your DC for now. I mean, at a higher level of gameplay, like if we're in Masters and you've got a team with voice comms and stuff, and you've got reliable DPS, he suddenly goes up to like here. But in general, most circumstances, he can't tank by himself. He's a pretty crappy off tank if you're looking to go kill things and frag out. And the pockets rely on the DPS to be good, and if your DPS suck, then he's just going to be useless. So, yeah, see. Alright, Tyra. Tyra. She is a tank shredder. Like, just the bane of every single tank, you know? Fire, cripples, heavy damage, reveal. She's pretty good, but she has no mobility. She does have the damage reduction built with her grenade talent, though, and, you know, that sort of card. She's in a good position, honestly. I don't think she's S tier. I'm seeing a few S's. I don't think she's S tier. Tyra B? Interesting. I mean, the thing is, she's a tank shredder. She destroys tanks. But, I mean, in a 1v1 with, like, Cassie or BK or Tiberius, I just don't see her winning those. Like, maybe with the damage reduction in the grenade build. Possibly. Low A? I can agree with that. Low A. Even below Drogoz. I can also kind of agree with that. She has some pretty heavy spread. Yeah, that's fine. Kind of straddling like the border between A and B. I think we'll go with that. Destroys tanks, but against other damage champions, other squishies, meh. Gets Void Grip, she's dead. No mobility, so yeah. That's a fair assessment. Alright. Victor. Burst mode got nerfed. But it's still burst mode. It's still 600 damage, 900 damage if you hit your headshots. Pretty solid range. He does technically have mobility. Area damage? I mean, the only thing he really doesn't have is crowd control. Victor's A, high A. Yeah. I think last patch, burst mode, and definitely like 2 patches ago before lifesteal was a thing, he probably would have been up here. But for now, yeah. Let's do like high A. Do we go? I mean, you could do like above BK. Or, where do we want to put him? Where do we want to put him? Jake only goes talent is nerfed. That's true. A above Tyra. Well, yeah, above Tyra for sure. But like, what about the rest of the damage champions? Easy nade resets, easy to build ult, solid A. Yeah. Above BK? Well, if we put him above BK... I mean, is he better than Cassie, though? Because, like, Cassie also has crowd control, and she also has probably comparable burst to burst mode. Below Cassie, above Imani? That's also a fair assessment. But he also kind of shreds BK at a distance. You'd say he's in front of all damages in A? It's tough. He's like in this area. Cassie has higher burst. You know what? Let's do a bit of rearranging. Let's do this. How does this look? Right? Because my logic, Cassie has 1000 burst with burst mode, or not burst mode, her blast shot combo. If you go impulse, that's 1200 burst. Plus she has crowd control with her knockback, team-wide reveal. You know, she has that. Victor, he's got a good burst, but his best talent got nerfed. And his mobility, it's a little bit less reliable. I mean, if you get void gripped, or you get like knocked into the air or something like that, he can't run. So, there's that. Whereas Cassie can roll out of pretty much anything. And then both of them are above BK, because my opinion, I mean, Victor, at a distance, just, you know, he sits back. Like, say you're on one side of fish market, BK's on the other side of fish market, Victor's going to win that duel easily. because, you know, headshots on BK squishy head, you know, better range. So there's that. So that's why I'd put him above them, or above BK, and then I put Cassie above Victor because I think Cassie's better than Victor. So there's that. Still BK better than Verse Mode? I mean, at close range, yeah, BK is better, but the problem is getting in close range. On certain maps, that's just really hard without, you know, getting shot into oblivion. So, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do for now. Alright. Vivian. Is she still S? Is she still S? Because, like, Burst, her ult did get nerfed, technically. You know, 50 less DPS, woohoo. Shield got nerfed, but it's still a 1200 health shield you can put up and take, you know, if you get shot in your little toes, that's 40% damage reduction pretty much. She has 2 reveal drones. And, I mean, yeah. Her mobility technically got nerfed, but if you get level 3 on top of 1 step ahead 5, you're still going to be zooming across the map. So, yeah, we're still going to put her in S. Does she go above or below Sha Lin? I'm not sure if I want to put her... Like, do we put her here? Where do you guys want to put her in S? Where do you guys want to put her? That is the question. While you're debating on that, I'm going to drink some coffee. I need a drink. Alright. Above Sha, above Sha, above Sha. Below Strix? Before Strix? Okay. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah. I agree. Someone said, yeah, Neo Galactic, she got a slap on her wrist this patch. Kind of feels that way. Yeah. You know, you just... You better stop bursting. Ah. That's what that is. I mean, they nerfed her survivability. That's the main thing they nerfed. They didn't really nerf her burst, though, and her burst is still just crazy. I mean, she's got among the highest DPS in the game, especially if you hit headshots. So, yeah. Okay. Vora. She is arguably the most balanced champion released this year. What I've heard, I agree sort of with that sentiment. So she's got crowd control, right? She's got a 2-second cripple if you hit max stacks and your dark siphon on somebody. That's really good at killing supports. She's got pretty solid mobility, but I don't think it's like ridiculously overpowered. Her burst is on the low end of flanks. But it's still, you know, you basically, you sit back, you farm stacks, her range is phenomenal. She's probably got the best poke out of any flank. I mean, within like 200 units. So that's good. Obliteration is kind of hard to land at times, but it is iframes, so that's helpful. She's a high skill flank, I think. So if you play her well, she's balanced. But you have to play her a certain way. So not everyone's going to pick up Vora and do good. So, yeah, let's see. Where do we even put her? A is getting bloated again. We're gonna have to shed some weight off of A. Probably also S too. We're definitely gonna have to shed some weight here. Okay, below Evie. Yeah, I think I would say below Evie, but I don't know if she's A though. Andrew, I am the Vora man. She is A. B below Lex. I don't know about below Lex either, though. I mean, as far as flanks go, I'd say she's straddling the line between A and B. I mean, she's really balanced. That's it. But Clockletone is the Vora guy. He's got to, like... What level's your Vora? Is she, like, level 30 yet? I don't know. We need creepers in the chat. Where's creepers when you need them? Alright. I'm gonna put her at the bottom of A in the flank section. Over here. Right? Bottom of A. Here. Okay. Is that good? Kind of straddling the line. And another kind of good thing about her, against invisible champions like Strix, like Skye, if you hit one shot on them, the bleed effect lets you continue to see where they are for like a good second and a half after you hit them. So she doesn't really need to illuminate that much. Creeper's is streaming, he might be on the game channel. Yeah, maybe. Alright. Well, we only got 3 champions left. Willow. I mean, Dead Zone is the thing. Dead Zone sucks. I mean, well, it sucks to go against. It's pretty good for Willow. But if you don't go Nightshade... Wait, what? Not Nightshade. What's the town called? Blast Flower. If you don't go Blast Flower, you're not really getting that much DPS. And her seedlings, if you don't go Scorn, aren't as reliable to hit. And even still, even with Scorn, they're kind of hard to hit. So, she's not the best. She's not the most reliable, but I don't think she's trash. So, oh my goodness, we don't actually have any DPS in B tier. Let's make her the first DPS in B. There we go. I mean, she's good in some circumstances, and she's good in the right hands. She can counter some people. Like, Grohk, for example, you know, you just put a dead zone over a totem, and suddenly that totem's not healing. Yeah. Let's just leave her there. Alright, Ying. Focusing lens solo healers. Frickin' F off, mate. Ying F for all focusing lens, Ying's solo heal. Exactly. Nah. I think she's also B. Because here's my reasoning, right? So, first of all, she's one of the only supports in the game who doesn't have crowd control. I mean, Corvus has a slow, his ult is a slow, Io has a stun, Jenos has a void grip, Grover has an amazing cripple, Kudamba has a stun and a fear, Furia has a stun, Pimp has a slow and a chicken, Seris has an ult. Ying has no crowd control whatsoever. That's the first problem. Second problem, her illusions at base are crap. Alright? I'm just gonna say, they're crap. It's like, what, 480 healing every 1.8 seconds or something like that on a single target? Compare that to Grohk, who gets like slightly less healing per second, but it's in a group, you can heal multiple people. So there's that. Her illusions are bigger, which means it's easier to shoot and destroy them. So there's that. And then, what is it called? Life Exchange, that one? It's 700 every 3 seconds. So, I mean, it does supplement and she can do some good healing. Really, like, I think what contributes the most to her healing numbers being phenomenal is her ult. Her ult is phenomenal. Like, if this were an ultimate tier list, she'd be, like, up here, because her healing ult is just fantastic. But, no crowd control. Healing without her ult, I don't think is particularly good. And her damage is okay. I mean, if you go focusing lens, obviously you're going to be getting more damage, but you're also not going to be healing as much, you know, aside from your ult. So, yeah, I'm going to put her low B, if we're being real here. The question is, do we put her above or below Seris? I think I'll probably put her, like, yeah. I don't know. Now Ying is low A. We can't just keep putting people in A. A is so bloated. Look at this. Above Seris, above, below, below, below. Below Seris. Now we've got the Seris mains and the Ying mains just going at it. Alright. Above Seris, she heals more and can do damage at range. That's true, her damage is more reliable at range. And also, she doesn't really have a channeled heal, so she can be doing damage more frequently. So there is that. She can spread her heals out among the team easier. Yeah, also. Alright. You've convinced me to put her above Seris. I'll do that. Alright, final flank. Zin Pie. Zin frickin' Pie. S tier. Right. He's got decent damage. It's not the highest burst in the flank category, but it's decent damage. And you know, you combine it with a whirl, it's good. It's good enough damage. But where he really shines is, he is so absurdly annoying because, you know, he's just like, swing, swing, swing. Oh no, I'm getting shot. Let me use one of my many survivability tools. He can put up his counter, and that blocks almost everything in the game except for a pounce for some reason. And, like, he can stand in front of BK's ult, press counter, and absorb it for his entire team. He can do the same thing for Drogoz, Dragon Punch. So, counter is crazy. Smolder, he also has that. He can whirl to get away, I mean, it's a decent mobility tool. And then he has Guillotine, where he can execute any tank in the game, no matter what health they're at. And it's almost impossible to out-heal it. So, S for sure. Definitely. So, do we put him above or below Androxus? That is the question. Androxus has more vertical mobility. The one thing Sin doesn't have is vertical mobility unless you waste your ult. And Androxus has a bit higher burst, but he doesn't have as much survivability. So, yeah. Above Andrew easy, below Andy, below Andrew. It's a tough one. They're both just kind of... They're the only two flanks in S. So... Andrew's easier to play as. I don't know, I wouldn't say that. You need more aim to play Androxus. Zen's projectiles are so fat, and you can even sort of clip them and hit people hiding behind corners. Androxus is above Zen. I think it kind of makes sense. Also, Yomi trash. Yes. Go Guillotine. Guillotine is just... It's great. You think he's mid-A? Says Zen Man. Well, Zen is also one of my many champions above level 50, and I still think he's ass. I mean, I'll be playing any champion. Like, I'll be playing Cassie, I'll be playing BK, I'll even be playing, like... It doesn't even really matter the champion, except, like, Vivian. And I'll just see a Zen on the enemy team, I'll be like... this is gonna suck. So, yeah. What about Wildfire? Isn't that the one where he, like, has World Reset? I mean, he does have some good build diversity, too. I mean, you have Smolder Reset... or Billow, whatever it's called. You have Billow Reset. You have Counter Reset build. You have World Reset build. You can kind of combine those two builds if you do it right. So, yeah. Alright, can you please put Ying and Nature do her some justice? No! And he has more flank routes? True. Alright, I'm going to put Zen below S. Or below Androxus. Anyways, that's everybody on the tier list. So now we gotta just move them around some. So... S plus tier and F tier completely empty. I think we can move some champions around. So... why isn't Vora F? Nah, she's good. She's balanced. You just gotta play her correctly. She's another high skill flank like Evie or Maeve. Okay. Go ahead and move Moji down. Ah, big brain. Alright. Did you honestly join at the end? Well, sort of. I mean, we've placed everybody, but now we're gonna move everybody. So, put the highest of every class in S to S+. That sounds about right. So we can put Androxus here, we can put Kinessa here, we can put Inara here. Probably also Ashe, probably also Corvus, probably also Io. How does that look? Put Moji on B and I'll remove my dislike. How many dislikes do we have on this stream, actually? Let me see. Hey, also, look at this. This is weird. So, yeah. Look at how tiny these numbers are. They're, like, super tiny for whatever reason. Like, these numbers are big. These numbers are so tiny. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let me look back at chat again. Give Moji its own class. It's not a he. Moji is a she. Alright. Jenos S+ most picked healer. I don't know though. I mean, if we're making a distinction between these top tier champions, I think Jenos is slightly below these guys because at the end of the day, his healing is not that good. It's 1800 over 10 seconds. Like, that's not that great. So that's why I don't necessarily want to put him S+. Ashe ain't it, Chief? We could do like this. What about this? What if you put Terminus up here and put Ashe down here? What about that? Jenos doesn't heal for crap. Yeah. But Luminary exists, and that just it wins fights for DPS. Alright. For my or just S? And maybe. I don't know. I mean, if you get a good Ashe player, though, like, she can be really good. I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. And also, I think we can start moving these around, like, in their tiers instead of just organizing them into categories now. So, like, I don't know, we could put, like, Inara, like, just here if you wanted. I don't know. Let's see. I feel like Furia and Dama are buff Grover. I don't know. Alright. Inara just got big nerfs, though. They're not really that big, though. I mean, oh no, she only has 40% damage reduction, which is way more than Haven 3 and Blast Shields 3 combined. Oh no, she only has 30% Rejuvenate, or 30% extra healing with his one ability. Oh no. Nah, those nerfs didn't kill her. Alright. I'm gonna leave S plus for now, like that. S tier, do we want to change anything here? Like, we could move these guys around. We could put Terminus, like, over here. Like, I'd be inclined to put Terminus up in S tier, because he's pretty close to S plus, but just for the sake of having, you know, diverse tiers, I'm leaving him S. Jenos A. I don't know. Inara's nerf just made it to where you can't just go to the bathroom while standing on point. Exactly. Cardized F, Jenos bad. True. I mean, I guess in that case we could put him, like, in A, but, like, top of A because Luminary still exists. But I don't know. Like, it's just Luminary is so good. Like, if you have two Sha Lin players going at it, you know, one Sha Lin, like, both Sha Lin players have, like, 2100 health or whatever, and you give one Sha Lin the Jenos buff, that Sha Lin is going to two-shot the other Sha Lin, while the other Sha Lin will take 3 shots. So, I mean, Luminary just, it changes 1v1s. It changes, you know, it gives such a good buff to the damage champions. So, that's why that's there. Don't underestimate the Corvus Jenos combo. Oh yeah, if you have that, you're basically done. If you have a good DPS who can carry. Alright. I'm not gonna leave this here. Let's deal with A. I mean, A is just so bloated. I feel like Buck, now that we have some people in S+, we could move Buck up here. Because I see Buck players just bucking up other people. But I don't know. I mean, it's just, what do we do? There's so many champions here. Grohk A. I don't know about that one, Chief. Woke up Buck is so good. I mean, Buck doesn't really have a bad talent. So, like, you can go every single talent for Buck and still do good. And he's much easier to play than, like, Evie or Maeve. So I am kind of inclined to put, like, him round here. Like, I'm not sure if I want to put him, like, above these damage champions, so that's the thing. But at the same time, like, he can screw over Strix. Like, if he goes bounce house and bounces onto Strix, good luck surviving if you're Strix. So, like, we could do something like this. Like, something like that. Because Sha Lin screws over flank, so he's definitely going to go above Buck. Vivian is just the damage machine, but then Buck kind of counters Strix. But they're both really good champions. So we could do something like this. What do you think? It could be a gatekeeper in S? Sort of. Maybe. Possibly. Potentially. Alright. Grohk created the Jenos. If you're looking for raw heals on a tank, then yeah, but again, Luminary, Luminary, Luminary. And also you can Void Grip somebody in the air and give them a free kill for your damage champions. So, there's that. Alright, as far as A tier goes, we can start moving these flanks around and, like, intermingling them with the damage champions. Also moving the tanks around a little bit. Question is, where do we want to put everybody? I feel like Vora should go, like, farther down. Like, I don't think she should be above all these damage champions. Like, maybe above Tyra. Maybe above Drogoz. But no higher. Or above Tyra, below Drogoz? Maybe. I mean, she's, like, somewhere around here. Oh, gosh, I'm moving the wrong people. But yeah, she could be, like, somewhere there. And Maeve and Evie possibly move them, like, around this area, possibly, potentially. Because I feel like Cassie could just screw over these two. You know, you hit either Maeve or Evie with the Blast Shot combo with Impulse, that's 2/3 of their health gone. So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave Cassie above these two. Maybe Victor too because Burst Mode, but also I don't know. What's chat saying? Cassie best A, yeah. Barik A tier. I mean, we could... I don't know. Or above Drogoz. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Let's put her here. As far as these damage champions go, I think I definitely am okay with BK being below these two, but still above these guys. Because if he gets in close range, he shreds. But the thing is, these guys just outdamage him, and they also have comparable burst. And of course, he's definitely going to be below Kinessa, Strix, who outrange him, Sha Lin, who outranges, Vivian, who just is OP. In fact, we could... I don't know if we want to move her to S+, though, because her survivability is a little weaker. I mean, her shield is 1200 health now, so if Strix or Kinessa shoots it once, it's gone. Which wasn't possible before. Yeah, as far as the tanks and stuff goes, I mean, we could intermingle those guys with these guys, too. But I don't know. Tower below Fernando. Yeah, she's a tank shredder. I'm going to put her above Raum for sure, because she shreds Raum. You know, put Burn Monster on Raum when he's about to run. He's crippled into the fire, and then you shoot him down, make sure he's revealed so you get that bonus damage. He dies. He dies. So, I'm going to do that. Drogoz eats BK? Not necessarily. If you're good BK. But yeah, the reason Drogoz is so low is because this champion, Lian, this champion, Victor, sort of Cassie, Strix, Vivian, Kinessa, Sha Lin. I mean, they beat up Drogoz. They bully Drogoz. Mercy Kill Tower is crazy. That's true. A tier is still just a mess. Also, I don't know whether I want to... Like, where do we put the healers? Intermingle them with these guys? Because, like... I don't know. I still kind of feel like I should just put the healers, like, at the back of all these different tiers. Just because... They're not, like, damage dealers. They heal. So I don't know how you can, like, say Grover is better than BK when they both have two completely different jobs. So, I don't know. Grover's S? I also don't know about that. Yeah, I guess the cripple's good. And he did get buffs, so his damage scaling applies to shields and deployables now, and if you get Wrecker or Bulldozer, that's really going to stack up. He just dropped 100k damage and heals with Grover. Yeah, he is kind of like a hybrid, like, healer, crowd controller, and damage champion, because he doesn't have any channeled heals except for his ultimate. So he just throws out axes constantly. Not even any ammo to worry about. Grohk is way better than Grover. Put him A? No, there's no case to be made for Grohk being better than Grover. Grover's group heals are better. Grover's solo target heals aren't necessarily better, but he still has an amazing cripple. He's just good. And also, if you go Spirit's Domain, Grohk, you're not doing damage. Alright. You auto lose if you don't have a healer, but you can make do without any other class. So you want me to put like all the healers like at the top of each of their respective tiers? I mean, maybe, but also like that just feels weird. Because all these champions can definitely outkill these champions. I don't know, I'm just gonna leave A tier where it is for now. B tier. Lex, Koga, Talus, Willow, Ruckus, Atlas, Barik. I'm going to move Ruckus high B tier. He's good. I'm going to move Atlas right next to his father. I'm going to move Barik up. And I'm going to move these two sort of like that maybe, or like, I don't know. Alright, did you say group heals, bro? Use a Totemic Ward? That is so good. Nah, dude, Totemic Ward is trash. It's like, what? I don't even know how much healing per second it is. Hold on. Hold on. F11. Go back to Grohk. Let me see. Grohk. So Grohk's healing totems do 300 a second. So, with Totemic Ward, that's 30% extra, so that's, what, 400 a second almost? It's almost 400 a second. But it's not quite 400 a second. So yeah, you can put those on top of, you know, on top of each other. So you can put two totems on down at the same time. But it also has a 10-second cooldown. So and it's also a smaller radius than Grover's heals. I mean, Grover's heals are massive. So yeah, I'm not putting Grohk anywhere near A tier. I love Grohk. He's a great... He's so much fun. One of the most fun champions, in my opinion. But he's... Realistically, in terms of strength, he's not A tier. Alright. Yeah, I feel like B is... I mean, it's relatively fine like this. Sort of. Possibly. I mean, you can maybe make the case for like Koga being here. Something like this. Possibly. Seris should belong in C. Seris reveals your teammates to the enemy and can't quite keep up. I mean, I'd be fine with that, just to have some more company in C. You think this is for PC? Yeah, if this were console tier list, I feel like it'd be looking completely different. Grohk's damage is so good with Maelstrom, might as well treating him like a damage champion with some heals or self-sustain. Yeah, the damage build is good. But, like, you can't always go damage Grohk if you're the only healer on your team, and you go damage Grohk, you're throwing. So... Right. You don't think Grover heals enough? Well, you gotta play Grover correctly. The way I use Grover is I use the cooldown reduction card on kill, and I also use the cooldown reduction card when hitting the root. So I heal, then I throw the root, and then, you know, it's already a pretty low cooldown, especially with Chronos. And if someone gets a kill and kills the person I've rooted, or I get an assist for, you know, healing, then I get another Blossom immediately. So, yeah. You can get a lot of healing with Grover, and he also gets a lot of damage too. Sad to see someone think Pip is better support than Ying. Nah, dude. Pip has 2 forms of crowd control, and his heals per second, 750 heals per second, pretty reliable as long as you can hit your shots, which is better than Ying, just flat out. I mean, her illusions are so slow. Like, let's see. Illusions. Ying, where the heck is she? Ying. Yeah, illusions. 400 every 1.6 seconds on one target. So, already lower heals per second than Pip, especially if you're going Focusing Lens. Like, some people go Focusing Lens Solo Healer, which is just annoying. So you're barely getting any heals from these guys. If you go Life Exchange, it's a little bit better, but Pip also still has a potion, and it's more group heals. So pretty much the only, like, way Ying can out-heal Pip, like, for a certain time period is just her ult. So, yeah, Pip is underrated. Alright. Plus Grover can heal through walls. Yeah, that's another thing. He can heal through walls. Pretty helpful. Alright. Pip can't attack while he's healing? I mean, if you're shooting your teammate and they're right up in melee range with, you know, someone else, then he can sort of do damage. But, I mean... yeah, that's kind of true. And that's why he's not an A tier. Alright. But Pip is so cute. Oh my gosh, Michael. No! Alright, in C tier. I want to move these guys around in C tier too. Let's move them around a little bit. Is Skye and Dredge at the top of C tier? That is the question. Ying is a good hybrid. I don't know, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Torvald the best one. I would be fine with putting him at the top of C tier, just for the fact they can pocket people. You know, pocket people give them 1,000 health shield, some healing, some ammo, some movement speed. And if they're a good DPS, the Torvald pocket feels great. But just the problem is he can't solo tank effectively. He can't point tank, he can't off tank. He's pretty much just a shield bot. That's the problem. Dredge above Skye on the right map? Yeah, if you're on Ice Spines, Dredge would be here. And also I feel like in close quarters combat he could do good against Skye too, you know, the sustain and stuff. Grover's above Cassie. Hashtag it's not all about kills. Nah. Grover's banned every scrim you play. Yeah, but the difference between scrims and regular gameplay, and even ranked gameplay, is that in scrims you're communicating with your team. In most games of Paladins, you're never going to communicate with your team. Not through voice, barely through text. And you don't know who you're playing with. You know? You're damage champions. You don't know who you're playing with. So you could have crap damage champions, or you could have really good damage champions. And if you're in ranked, and you're low enough that you can play in a party of 5, like, then he's still, I don't know, he's still just not that good. So there's a major difference between scrims. This is not a scrims tier list by any means. This is just like general gameplay. Here. You think of Torvald more as a support than a tank? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Amazing how different it is. Yeah, it is. It is. Totally different environment, almost. Because, yeah, if you're on, like, the PPC or the PPL or whatever it is nowadays, like, yeah, Torvald would be super high on the list. But that's not the case for 99% of Paladins players. That's a problem. Kind of difficult to balance, you know, between the pro scene and the actual regular scene. You think Grohk has a better damage roll and heal roll than Skye? Yes, he's a better flank than Skye. Woohoo! I don't know. Could do this. Yeah, I don't know. Why is Atlas and Ruckus so low? Oh, well, Ruckus was lower a little bit. He's at the top of B tier. I mean, the only reason I have him here is because he can't point tank as well as some other off tanks. And if you don't know how to play him right, then he kind of... Oh, excuse me. Jeez, what the heck? I don't know. He's just not as potent, I don't think. Cause like, I don't know. Atlas and Ruckus go in A. You want these guys back up in A? They were in A, and I moved them down to B to clear out space from A. A is just going to be more bloated if we move them back there. I'm going to leave them there. Isn't Khan a better point tank than Ruckus? Khan just sucks. His shield is worse than Fernando's and worse than most people's. He can't shoot while his shield is up. I mean, that's kind of a big difference between him and Ruckus, even though his shield is smaller. Yeah, his damage isn't as bursty as Ruckus. His crowd control got just nerfed, you know, Vortex grip being nerfed. That was pretty much like the only reason people played Khan, was because you would grip somebody and they'd be stunned for like 3 seconds almost. Move Damba and Furia up. I mean, if we were to move them up, yeah, here's what we can do, right? Because Raum gets countered by crowd control, we could just put all 3 of these guys above him, because, you know, Grover Root absolutely shreds Raum. Or, well, it doesn't shred Raum, but it absolutely shuts him down. Damba's stun can shut him down, Furia's stun can shut him down, Grover shuts him down to more of an extent than these two. And, you know, Root is just crazy. The Bulwark is rechargeable? It is rechargeable, but still, he's primarily still an off-tank. He's not a point tank. And as an off-tank, Ruckus is just leaps and bounds better than him because his mobility is superb. Like, Ruckus is still the most, like, English. He's the most mobile champion in the tank class because of aerial assault, you know. Crazy vertical mobility, crazy horizontal mobility. He can get places most regular mobile champions, like Damage and Flank Light, can't get to. So, yeah. That's why he's above Khan, because they're both primarily off-tanks. Also, why is Tyra too high? Tyra is up here because she's a tank killer, but she's not as high as the rest of the damage champions because she doesn't do as well versus other damage champions. I mean, Mercy Kill can be good, and it can still be strong, but these guys just have an easier time dueling other damage champions. She shreds tanks. She absolutely murders Raum. And, of course, you know, other champions who are tanks. So, yeah. What about Atlas making Terms ult useless? I mean, yeah, that is a thing, but also, as far as point tanking, Atlas struggles compared to other people. His damage is okay. Like, his damage is decent. His crowd control is decent, but resilience exists. So, I don't know. Tanks bully tower, to be honest. Nah, dude, it's the other way around. I mean, you throw a burn monster on somebody, and they're gone. Up in flames. Dead. So, yeah, that's why she's there. I mean, if you guys really want me to, I can move her down to B. Like, I could put her, like, here. I don't know. How does that seem? Like, I'm not going to put her low in B tier. Maybe here. Why is Kinessa greater than Strix? Sorry, I have a repeat question. She just does more damage. I mean, you go steady aim, and that's a 1500 damage shot, 2100 damage headshot. You can literally one-shot most champions in the game who are squishy. And she also has mobility, unlike Strix. She has to teleport. And, of course, mines are helpful, too, just, you know, for some extra damage. Alright. Atlas isn't countered by resilience? Yes, he is. The rewind is countered. His ult is countered. Those are 2 things. What Fernando talent did he play? Aegis, yeah. Considering Aegis is so strong this patch, that's why Fernando's an A. If Fernando didn't have Aegis, he'd be down in B for sure, probably below Ruckus. Because as an off-tank, he's not as good anymore. I think primarily he's more of a point tank slash bodyguard for his teammates now. Yeah, the only thing of Atlas that isn't countered by Rizzo, like, besides his damage, is just his F and his wall. So can't remind you as far as that what happens? Yeah. Yeah, if you get Resilience 3, he reminds you pretty much, like, 1 feet away. Like, it's almost not noticeable. Why is Seris so low? Channeled heal. Heal isn't even that strong compared to other healers. Damage is unreliable at long range, even medium range. Pearls is good. But, yeah. That's probably one of the more controversial people here. Fernando's so frustrating to fight as a tank. Yeah, he's frustrating because, you know, he just gets in front of his teammates and he just body blocks them so hard. Alright, I'm gonna just delete F tier. I don't think we need it. Let's delete that row. There we go. F tier is useless. There's nobody deserving of F. Fernando's the worst tank ever. No. Not by any means. I mean, he's certainly not the best tank ever, but he's also not the worst tank ever. I mean, if you really... We could do this, right? We could put him lower in A tier than these healers. Because, I mean, without a shield, he's not particularly good on damage. I mean, he has one of the lowest DPS weapons in the tank class. If you take a look, Fernando, Flame Lance, yeah, it's 35 over 0.1 seconds, so that's 350 damage per second plus 200 over 2 seconds. So that's effectively 450 damage per second. Not particularly good. It's not that great. And it's for having such a short range too. That's kind of a problem because Ashe also has similar DPS, but it shoots a little bit faster. I think it's it's very comparable. It's very comparable, but it has much longer range and the area it's big. And she also has, of course, Shoulder Bash, which you can combo with, and you know this. So she has a lot more damage options like in her kit. Meanwhile, Fernando, he has his Fireball, yeah. And he has his Charge, yeah, but the Charge is shorter range than Ashe's, and it's not as reliable. You think the Flame Ticks apply Cauterize? Yeah, I mean, it is one of the better weapons for applying Cauterize, but so is Ashe's. And I don't know, I just feel like Ashe can get more done than Fernando. The only thing that Fernando is better at is, you know, with Aegis now. Putting a shield up, blocking so much for his teammates. That's pretty much all it is. Alright. Well, I mean, this list is looking pretty much almost complete. I mean, I agree with BK being below these guys. He probably actually could be above these two, too. Because, I mean, when I play BK, and Maeve and Evie go up against me, I just shred them. I mean, BK, he pretty much needs 2 bombs to get Evie down to within an inch of her life. So, and of course the area, Royal Subjects, makes it easier to hit these hypermobile champions, so there's that too. So I think we can move him up there. Imani, yeah, she's really strong this patch. I think she could go here. Tiberius, really strong with combat trance, otherwise, I mean, not particularly the best, like when he doesn't have combat trance, but his slow is helpful too, so there's that. Lian, I don't like this champion, but she's strong, so we're going to put her here. Vora, pretty darn balanced. I mean, she's pretty much almost in the center of the tier list. I mean, she's like halfway through A. So, yeah, very, very balanced. I mean, she doesn't have as much burst as these guys, but she can kill effectively. She's got a lot of crit control. She has a pretty solid flank. Drogoz, he's really good when he doesn't have his counters, but he has got a lot of counters, and all of them are higher than him. You know, Lian, Cassie, Victor, Sha Lin, Vivian, Strix, Androxus, Kinessa. I mean, he gets countered so hard by these guys. When he doesn't have a counter, he would be, like, much higher. But because those counters exist and they're in almost every single game, you know, he's mad against those guys. Makoa, even better tank than he was last patch. You know, with a change to half shell, and with a change to his burst, he's pretty solid all around. He can play as both an off tank and a point tank, kind of, so yeah, kind of deserving of A, I think. Highest tank in A. Then we got our healers, Grover, Damba, Furia. They're just they're solid healers. Grover, great group heals, pretty good heals. I mean, he heals for literally the entire match, as well as he gets 100% of the healing he gives out, so that's nice. And then, of course, his crippling root, too. I mean, that root talent is just so strong. And it shuts down Raum and other high mobility champions. Damba, actually, since it does shut down high mobility champions, we could put him here. Because rooting Maeve and Evie also screws them. Just saying. We could do that. Damba, stuns, heals, good stuff. Just pretty reliable. Furia, same thing, pretty reliable. A bit more on the damage side, less on the sun side, but still a pretty good healer nonetheless. And of course, her ult is really strong for pushing back in, taking, winning fights, because it's a team-wide damage buff, so, that's pretty nice. Fernando, Raum. Fernando's only up here because Aegis build is good. Raum is up here because, in the right circumstances, he is an absolute beast. He's an absolute menace. 9,000 health demon with crazy DPS and one of the best mobility abilities in the tank class. But the problem is he gets shut down by cripples. Like, pretty much any CC will shut him down. And also, damage scaling, like Cassie, like Tyra, like Skye, they shut him down. So, there's that. S+, I think we're still fine with S+. I mean, we got Androxus, Kinessa, they're just really, 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 really strong damage champions then. I mean, Androxus has pretty much got everything. He's got good vertical mobility, good horizontal mobility, pretty solid ult, pretty solid survivability thing, although it's a bit buggy at times against snipers. Yeah, good burst. He's just a good champion. Kinessa, same thing, really, really crazy, crazy burst. I mean, she can one-shot champions. Really consistent damage. Inara, of course, best point tank in the game still even after the nerfs. The nerfs didn't really affect her that much. Ashe, best off tank in the game pretty much. I mean, you got two forms of crowd control, or I guess two forms of knockback, 1200 burst. You've got her ult, which makes her literally immortal, and it's the stun. I mean, she's pretty crazy. Corvus, I mean, yeah, his life still got nerfed, but still, he's a good pocket. He pockets, Androxus or Kinessa, and they just pop off. I mean, it's so hard to kill someone when they got a Corvus pocket, even in this patch after the life rip nerf. So that's good. Io, she's up here. I mean, she's got really good single target healing and damage reduction. And Luna is helpful, 5-man push. Luna on point to buy overtime. It's just such a helpful tool. S tier. Xin, I think he belongs at the top of S tier. Solid, he's annoying, he's got good damage. He's just such an annoying champion. Terminus, again, top of S tier. Really good tank. Power Siphon OP. Only thing that really holds him back is melee. I mean, he's melee. Kind of sucks. But other than that, he's a beast. Sha Lin, really good. 1300 damage burst with Sand Trap, and it's a cripple, and it's an explosive. And Planted is good, and he got buffed this patch for less cooldown reduction. Or I guess less of a cooldown on Planted. So, crazy. Vivian's still crazy. I mean, she's less survivable now, but she's still got some crazy burst. Buck, good burst. All three talents are viable. Good sustain. He can get things done. He's kind of crazy. Strix, basically just a worse version of Kinessa. I mean, less damage, less mobility, but he does have his invisibility. He can quickscope, so there's that to take into account. He's still strong. Jenos, only up here because of his Luminary buff and his Void Grip. And I guess his damage is fine too, and his mobility. Pretty much the only thing that would, that keeps him from being S+, is his healing kind of sucks on tanks. If he had something where he had percentage-based healing, where like every tick it also healed for like 1% of a target's health, that'd make him S+ for sure, because then he'd be able to heal tanks much more effectively. A tier, yeah, we already went over those guys. I feel like that's fine. B tier, Ruckus top of B tier. He's good, but he can't point tank very well, and he takes a bigger brain than some other people. And yeah, he's also fairly squishy if you mess up and get in the wrong position. All about positioning with this guy. Tyra, tank shredder, not as good into other people, but she still has, some good damage reduction. She's top of B tier. I mean, not really much to say there. Lex, Go Death Hastens, with the buffs this patch, pretty solid. I mean, he doesn't have vertical mobility, which kind of sucks, so that's kind of what's keeping him out of A. But, and he also doesn't have a defensive ability. That's kind of the two big things with Lex that keep him from being higher. But other than that, I mean, good damage. Feels good to play this patch. It's really fun. Atlas, another big brain tank. I mean, I don't really see him picked that often. He kind of struggles on point. I don't know. Koga, good on console, but this isn't really a console tier list. He's annoying. He's a little pest. Little pest. Barik, good point tank, but could be better. I mean, there's just better options. These guys, Terminus, Makoa. I'd say Makoa's a little bit better. Although Barik can still hold his own. I mean, I don't know, we might put him a little bit higher. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Talus. Also a pass. Again, I mean, he doesn't really have defensive abilities. Kind of like, some of these guys higher on the list has. He does have burst, which is nice, but his teleport can also be camped. His punch is unreliable. And he's just not the best. Willow. DPS, if you don't go Blast Flower, is pretty garbage. Seedling is unreliable if you don't go Scorn. But Dead Zone is pretty strong. In the right hand, she can be okay. So, yeah. Pretty much bottom of B tier. Pip. I mean, his healing got buffed again. It feels really good. Really like his healing. It's fun. But his head hitbox is massive. When you're healing with Combat Medic, you're not doing damage. So, I mean, you're not really doing that much damage. You can still do some damage, but it's not that much. And, yeah, he can't really heal through walls that much either. Which, I mean, I guess most of these guys can't, but... Yeah, he's just not quite as good, and he really shines when you have a tank, but he doesn't shine as well with, more damage champions. Like, if you only have one tank, and that tank is only like a Raum or something, he doesn't shine as much as, like, Maldamba or Furia or Grover would. Ying, no crowd control. Heals are bad if you don't have an ult. Her damage is okay, and she can shoot while she's, healing with her illusions. But I just don't really find her that good, and... all the freaking focusing lens Ying's players running around just make me mad, make me salty. So that's not really a reason, but we can also add that to the list of why she's in the bottom of B. His skin is so good right now that Koa and Pip suffer from hitbox debuffs. Yeah, I know, Shug. Kind of sucks. But yeah, Makoa, of course, he does have his half shield, which is really strong right now. You don't know how to play her? Are you talking about Ying? I kind of know how to play Ying. I mean... The thing is, her illusions, they're solo target heals, and they're not even that good heals per second. If you go Life Exchange, it helps with that a little bit, but it's still like a 3-second cooldown for 700 healing. Whereas Pip, you have reliable 750 healing per second in a small group, and you also have this big group 1000 burst. So as far as heals per second, in terms of reliability goes throughout the match, without having to rely on an ult to get your big healing numbers, Pip is better than Ying. And he also has 2 forms of crowd control. Evil Mojo, his ult literally just nukes tanks. So that's why I'm putting him above Ying, but not quite an A. And if I could play Ying with you, I would go Resonance for the lulz. How dare you! You'd say Ying heals are good, but literally anyone can out-heal her without her ult? Yeah, exactly. It's too unreliable. Yeah, her ult is the best healing ult in the game, I would say. It's just such good healing per second on everybody on the map, regardless of where they are, and you can teleport to everybody on the map. But without that, I mean, it's just unreliable. It's unreliable. So that's the problem. That's why she's in B, my opinion. Torvald, top of C. I mean, he sucks as an off-tank. He sucks as a point tank, but he can pocket people. And if you give 1000 health shield with the healing, with the mobility, or the movement speed buff, with the ammo, to someone like Cassie, suddenly, it just puts someone up a tier. Like, Torvald gives a shield to Cassie, suddenly she's an S. Torvald gives the shield to Zin, suddenly he's an S+. Torvald gives the shield to Androxus, suddenly he's off the tier list. He's up here. So, that's why Torvald is at the top of C, not at the bottom of C. Dredge, good on some maps. Good spam. I mean, he's another sort of tank killer, sort of. Although he really struggles against Terminus, struggles against Makoa half shell because, he just gives Makoa infinite shields. So there's that to take into account. If you go Hurl, his damage per second is lower than other guys like these. Like, he doesn't really have that much burst if you go Hurl. Although he does have Sustain, so that's good. Skye, she's got burst. Yeah, she's got burst and, really crazy burst, with Debilitate. But no mobility as a flank. At all. That's bad. That's really bad. And also, invisibility. Like, that just gets countered by Illuminate so hard. It gets countered by Reveals. Too many counters to invisibility and no mobility on top of that. C tier for sure. Seris, channeled heals, so you can't do damage while you're healing. Heals aren't even that potent, and they fall off, with Cauterize 3 pretty heavily. Her ult is good. Convergence can be really good, especially if you combat with other ults. that's kind of why she's above Grohk. Her mobility, I guess, is fine. I mean, shadow travel, it's nothing to complain about. Although she doesn't have like the same like vertical mobility and stuff like that like other healers have, like Rover, Pip, for example. Corvus, even, you know, so there's that. Grohk, if this were a damage, if he were going off of damage build, he would probably be like B, maybe even A. But you can't always go damage build, and when you are forced to go healer build, his healer build just sucks. Spirit's Domain is 700 per second, which I guess is pretty decent, but you're not doing damage while you do that, and Grohk's damage is really what shines with him, so that's kind of pretty bad trade, and then also his totems aren't really that effective. Alright. And Khan, I guess, poor guy. I mean, his shield is worse than Fernando's. His damage is pretty meh. I mean, it's pretty much... it's the same DPS as Torvald, but he can hit headshots, but then he doesn't have as much damage at range. I think his fall-off is a little bit greater. His crowd control, I mean, you're vulnerable while you're picking someone up. You're vulnerable in your ult. So, yeah. And after Vortex Grip nerf, I mean, he's been killed. Moji, I don't know. Do we want to move her out of D? She's lonely down here. We could put her in C. What do you guys think? What do you think, chat? What do we do with Moji? Because to Erlenmeyer's, you know, what Erlenmeyer did say, I mean, she can do some pretty reliable damage to tanks. That is one thing up for her. But she has the biggest hitbox out of all the flanks. She has one of the biggest head hitboxes in the game. She has limited range. I don't know. Moji's better than C. There's no way I'm putting her in B, but do you guys want her in C? As long as it's C above Torvald. Oh, I'm not putting her above Torvald. No. Don't disrespect my boy like that. We gotta show Torvald some love, okay? And then hopefully in Season 4, like 2021, they're just gonna give Torvald a whole bunch of buffs, hopefully. That's what I want. They just give him a whole bunch of buffs, and then I have an excuse to put him in S+. Someone has to be in the worst tier, either Skye or Moji. But we could just make worst tier C. You know. I'll put her in C. I'll put her above Khan, but below Grohk. Is that fair enough? Because, like, just the hitbox is so bad. The range is so bad. I mean, yeah. And she doesn't have vertical mobility, too. She's another one who just can't get up the high ground. So on maps like Timbermill, she's just not that good. Her best cards are kind of with Cauterize? Yeah, true. True. She's above Dredge. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, if Moji becomes S if there's a Raum, you'd put her in B. Yeah, I'm not putting her in B. There's no way she's going above C. But I think this is a fair enough rating for her. I still think Grohk is a bit better. Khan, poor soul. He just... I don't know. I mean, we could do this. I don't know. This just looks pretty, though. Aesthetic-wise, I don't know. I like Moji in the middle. Moji is above Skye, then? I don't know about that one, either. Because Moji has a fat hitbox, and she doesn't have invisibility. So, like... It's tough. It's tough. Put her in D so they can buff her? Well, pretty much they need to just buff everyone in C. Kind of. I don't know. Moji above Grohk. Moji above Skye. Here's an idea. Cosmic Brain. Yeah. Just make the Seris and Grohk players a little bit happier. Put both these, like, below them. Kind of like that. Because, like, whenever I play Grohk and Moji, I never feel like I'm getting threatened. Like, because, you know, Ghost Walk exists, can cleanse the star effect. Grohk has high damage, he has totems for sustain. I think Grohk is 100% better than Moji. Kana is better than Barik. Hold up. Nah. Just a quick question as they arrived. Why is I above Jenos? Her heals are obviously better than Jenos's, but I'd rather have the Luminary buff. Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons. Heals are better than Jenos on a solo target. And, of course, damage reduction. They have pretty comparable DPS. Io has a stun, of course. Jenos has a Void Grip. And Io, of course, has Luna, the dog. That is just... it's really powerful. I mean, You put it on point to get overtime for your team. You put it on point to cap. You can let it cap for you and have the entire team push forward. Whereas if you have a Jenos on your team and no IO, the Jenos sits on the point, and at some point, you know, his range is going to fall off and he's not going to be able to heal his teammates if they push up too far. Whereas IO, you put the dog on point, IO pushes up and she can heal everybody just fine and also do damage. So that's why she's above Jenos. And again, you know, Jenos into 2 tanks, I mean, he's going to struggle to keep them topped off, especially if they go to point. Alright. You think Skye is better than Moji? I'm kind of that opinion, too. I mean, I never see Moji players in my matches, and when I do, they die. Like, they just suck. Skye players, at least sometimes, I see a decent Skye player and they can actually do well. I mean, if you go... another thing, like, if the enemy team is an idiot and doesn't pick Illuminate, or if they, you know, if they forget to pick Illuminate right at the start of the match, then Skye's going to be able to do okay. And again, Debilitate, she has some crazy burst. I mean, let's not knock her burst. Alright. I'll take your door if you don't put Grohk higher. Listen, the Grohk player in me, my level 72 Grohk is saying put him higher. Just because I love this champion. But his face is not that good. Yeah, Balloon is so counterable since the nerf. Well, it's still like a 3,000 health dog. I mean, it's pretty much a tank. You pretty much got 6 players on your team if you have an IO. Skye healer on Fernando point is amazing. Yeah, true. She also does have that build too, and her heals are more reliable than Moji's. I know, Erlenmeyer, you're going to say, oh, but snack attack, 600 heal on everybody. But that's if you kill somebody. Skye heals, I mean, you put the smoke bomb down on point, you heal in your tanks for pretty much the same amount as a gourd, double a Grohk totem, can't be destroyed, you get your poison bolts for the reset, and then you get another one. So there is that too. So yeah, definitely a solid case for putting her above Moji. Kind of like that. By the way, Sha Lin is definitely better than Vivian. Well, he's right. I don't know why you're saying that. He's right there. Like, yeah. All right. I mean, I think we're pretty much done with the list. I mean, it looks okay to me. I mean, I like our S+ tier. These guys definitely super strong. These two definitely super strong. These two still pretty strong. So definitely on the bottom end of S+. These two, definitely top of S, both really annoying to go against. Sha Lin, super strong right now, especially if you can aim. Which, you know, that's the same for all champions. Vivian, still super strong. Her survivability is lower, her mobility is lower, but burst is still there and she's still annoying. Buck, pretty solid flank. Good burst, all 3 talents viable. Really solid state right now. Strix, worst version of Kinessa. Still good though. Jenos Luminary, yeah. A tier seems fine to me. I mean, I don't know. Chat, any final opinions before we finalize this list? Alright. Khan is better at sustain damage and even shields than Barik? That's just false. Barik has 100 heals per second with combat, or what is it called? The one that heals, you know, where his turret heals him per second if he stands next to it. That's 100 per second. Pretty reliable. And if you go to the card where you heal per, you know, turret shot too, you're getting like 200 heals per second. It's literally, it's more than Jenos heals Barik can have with his turrets. His shield is definitely better than Khan's too. I mean, yeah, you can point Khan's around, but Barik's is big, it's beefy, you can shield dance and still shoot while his shield is up. He's just a way better point tank than Khan. And yeah, Khan is also pretty bad off tank too in this, you know, in this meta. So Grohk's ult, worst tier list yet. Oh jeez. Why are you saying this is a bad tier list? These guys are obviously strong. These guys are obviously strong. These guys are pretty balanced, but still strong. I don't see. My goodness. Why don't you guys like this tier list? What would you say to make it better? Eh? Move Torvald up. Why would I move Torvald up? Think Koga's A tier? Bad tier list. Uninstall new SMH anyway. Put emoji in S+. Obviously. Yes. Genius. Okay, so what you guys are saying is put these guys up here. and put this guy up here. So does that make it better? I mean, I don't know. What do you want? I mean, this just feels awkward to me. And then we got a bloated A tier again. Move Ruckus down. Well, I'm not putting Ruckus below Atlas. That just doesn't make sense to me, especially if you go against a really good Ruckus. Alright. I got an idea. Let's do... I'm going to move these guys back down, but then I'm going to put Koga here. Put him a little bit higher than these guys. Alright. In fact, we could even put him above Lex, actually, because he does have pretty good burst. But then he also has, you know, his Shadow Step or whatever it is. And, yeah. Well, his Shadow Step is pretty good. So something like that instead. And maybe do this. Maybe put the son ahead of the father. Like that, maybe. Alright, you think Tyra's a bit low? Yeah, well, we have some people saying A, some people saying B. I think high B tier is good enough for her. Alright. Put Pip above Willow. I kind of feel like Pip and Ying should be a little bit higher. Like, maybe something like that? Potentially? Maybe, mayhaps, possibly, maybe. Maybe like this. Maybe like this. I don't know, these are just like minor tweaks now. We're pretty much almost done. Why is Seris so low? I'll say it again. Heals. You gotta channel them. They're not particularly good compared to the likes of, you know, Pip's heals per second or, you know, Damba, Furia. I mean, there's just better options for heals per second. Especially group healing, too. And her damage is unreliable at mid-range. I mean, it's pretty much just spammy. And it's really hard to, like, track, like, high mobility champions with her damage, too. So it's very unreliable there. Her F is fine. Her ult is fine, but just those other things, they're not particularly the best. But she's still better than Grohk, though. There should be A, good damage, insane damage reduction with Mercy Kill and Great Cripple with Burn Monster. Could do this. I mean, this is an idea, right? Because Burn Monster Tyre into Raum, Tyra's gonna have a field day. So we could do that. Why is Tiberius A-class? Explain for noob. Combat Transcend is slow or really good, but his ult is fairly average. His mobility, it's, you know, a good leap, but you barely have control over it. And when he doesn't have his Combat Trance, his DPS is also fairly average. So that's why I put him in A. Put Torvald at least low B. Well, the reason I have him in C, he's a good pocket, but his pocketing also depends on good communication with your team and having good, reliable DPS. If the damage players on your team or your flank players on your team suck, then, you know, your Torvald pocket isn't going to really be that helpful. And then besides the Torvald pocket, he's not a particularly good off-tank. He's not a particularly good point tank. And, I mean, his Nullify is good, though. His Nullify is good. Alright. Yeah, but Grohk's damage is better. Yeah, his damage is good, but it's... What, do you want me to do this? What? Why is Dredge so low? Explain it too. So, against lower level players, like people who don't have that much experience, he's fine. But his spam onto point, it's just not as reliable with, you know, people who are higher skill. And also... I mean, well, his primary fire is hard to hit, and then if you go hurl, it's lower DPS. He has some decent sustain, but he has no mobility apart from his teleports. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, pretty much that. We delete D tier then? Yeah, might as well. There we go. Or we could just rename, like, make this S, then make this A, then make this B. Then make this C, then make that D. I don't know. Alright. How can people call Vivian OP if she isn't an S+? I mean, S and S+ is still just like the really strong tier. I guess you just... just because she's not an S+ tier isn't the case for her not being super duper strong. Well, higher skill he doesn't just spam on point. Oh yeah, then you spam in like hallways and stuff, but still, he's also not particularly reliable like aiming at targets in the sky. Like if you have vertical mobility, like you're playing Maeve or Evie or Androxus or something, and you're flying up in the sky, it's really hard to hit him with primary fire. And then again, you go back to hurl. Pretty low DPS compared to the likes of like, you know, Lian or Tiberius Combat Trance or Cassie or Victor. So this is better than Raum? Hold up. You're saying to move Seris here? Ah. Alright. In your opinion, you changed Kinessa, Io, Atlas, and Ying's positions, but it's your tier list, so just roll with it? Yeah. I mean, I guess we could put Seris, like, here, just because Grohk damage build better than Seris damage build. But that'd be, like, the only reason. So Sha Lin is better than Vivian and Vora is better than Drogoz. I mean, Sha Lin is crazy. I mean, the one thing that Vivian doesn't really have is crowd control. Sha Lin has a cripple for like 2 seconds, and a 1300 burst, and then if you plant it into that, someone just dies. And then you go cooldown reset build, and you have that up again, and you just spam it out. Okay, you can move Koga higher. I've already moved him higher, though. Oh, gosh. Alright. Like Koga's A tier just because dash Koga and harass the backline? I mean, maybe. I mean, high B tier isn't necessarily bad. Like, I'm not saying he's bad by putting him in B tier. I'm just saying he's not the best option. And I think that's fine. I think we're pretty much done. Pretty much. Of course, not gonna please everybody. Like, all my previous tier lists haven't pleased everybody. But I think this in general is good enough. I mean, we can all agree, these guys in S+, very strong. These guys in S, also very strong. These guys in A, all pretty good. You can argue over the, you know, the placement. But, you know, Grover Root, the root is super strong, counters these guys. You know, Vora, pretty balanced. Put her, you know, pretty much in the center. She's very, very balanced. Good bursts here from these guys. You know, these guys outrange BK, so that's why they're higher. Makoa, pretty solid tank right now. Fernando, up here because of his shields. I guess we could put him here, too, as well, because, you know, Burn Monster exists. Tyra, tank shredder. Raum, good in some circumstances, but bad against, you know, crowd control and damage scaling. B tier, they're fine. You can play them well if you're high skill, but it's going to take a lot more effort, and they're not like you're guaranteed to win because you pick these champions. So, yeah, that's pretty much this. I guess we could have some descriptions. S+, super strong. S, strong. A, pretty good. Good. Well, we'll just call this one decent. We'll call this one C. Meh. Meh / unreliable. Because I'll put the unreliable in for Torvald because whoa, what the heck is this doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, C. Meh / oh, enter does like a space. Unreliable. Oh my goodness. Oh, the formatting on this tier list. Oh, geez. Well, in that case, that. decent. Not necessarily... Nah. We'll just leave that at decent. Yeah. Pretty good / balanced. Nah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to put balanced, but the formatting is just so bad. I don't know what's up with his website. Well, let's leave it at that. Okay. Alright. I think with BK must be an A class, but lower. Well, the thing is, BK absolutely shreds in close range. He fares pretty well against Maeve and Evie. The only thing is, against ranged champions like Victor, Cassie, Kinessa, Strix, Sha Lin, it's painful. So, that's why he's where he is. Alright. So, I think that's pretty much it. I think it's pretty much fine. Also way better than Lex. Why is Lex higher? Well, I mean, the thing with both of them is, well, Lex, Talus, they both have pretty decent bursts. Especially if you go like Death Hastens Lex. That's some pretty good bursts. But Death Hastens Lex has more damage at range. And Lex, you could argue, has more mobility because his slide has such a low cooldown and also got buffed recently. And he can see through walls by default without having to go through for talent. And, you know, that whole 40%, 50% lifesteal thing on his Retribution target. Retribution got buffed, so it's more reliable. And Talus, he does have really good burst, too. He can shred tanks, yeah. But his punch, I don't find it to be very reliable with damage. Like, the hitbox just feels weird to me. I don't know. It could just be that I'm bad at playing Talus. But it seems more to me like a movement ability. And then, based off movement abilities alone, like some mobility, his slide is better than Talus's punch. And the teleport, while it's really good for, you know, getting him out of sticky situations, it can also be camped. And people like BK are just really, really good at camping and completely destroying his teleport. You know, as soon as he teleports back, dead. So, that's the thing. His ult is good, but at the same time, you're also rushing right into the backline and you could put yourself in a really bad spot. So, that's my rationale for putting Lex higher. Especially after the buffs, Lex just feels really good to me, you know. Death Hastens Lex with the current buffs, sure, pretty good. Okay. How do you feel about the new healing buff Pip got? I mean, I've always loved a good Pip healer. And, you know, the buffs, they feel good. Alright. Yeah, I think this is the finalized tier list. By the way, by Ying Solo, I just want to hear your opinion, because to me she's top tick with Maldama and Corv if Jenos are banned, or if Corv and Jenos are banned. Well, first of all, no crowd control. She's pretty much unique among the healing class. I mean, pretty much everyone else has some form of crowd control. Like, Corvus has a slow on his dagger if you throw it like that, and he also has a slow on his ult. Io has a stun, Jenos has Void Grip. You know, pretty much everyone has crowd control. Even Grohk has crowd control on his ult. Ying has no crowd control. And also her healing is unreliable. So, her ult, obviously top tier. Her ult is amazing. One of the best ultimates in the game. Because, you know, super good heals per second on everybody on your team, regardless of where they're at. But, when you don't have her ult up, you know, the illusions, they only heal one target for like 480 every point, like 1.8 seconds or something like that. So, pretty low heals per second, and it's only solo target. And if you go life exchange as well, it helps it somewhat, you know, 700 every 3 seconds. But it's still not as much healing output as you can get with Damba or, you know, Grover group healing or Corvus. So that's why. It's just unreliable. You can do damage while doing healing, you know, you don't have a channeled heal, which is nice. But no crowd control, unreliable healing, you know, you have amazing healing, some of the best healing in the game with the ult, and then some pretty, I guess, average, maybe even subpar healing otherwise. That's why she's in B tier, in my opinion. Alright. Do you think Koga on his release was better, or Koga now? I think Koga now is better. Just, I forget what he was like at release, but I remember thinking like he was relatively underwhelming. Andrew, can you please put Khan to B or A? No. No. He's just not that great of an off-tank anymore. I mean, his shield, worse than Fernando's if you're going for the bodyguard aspect. His heal is fine, I guess, but when you're using your crowd control, you're making yourself really vulnerable. Because you dash forward, and then you're pretty much rooted in place while you throw them behind you. And during that time, you're completely defenseless. So you got all this opportunity in the world for the enemy team to shoot at you and kill you. Same thing with your ult. And, you know, if you don't ult them, like if you're not right next to the edge and you can't throw them down off the edge, then there's a good chance that they can come back if they have high mobility like Ruckus, or even people like Lian can get back if you throw them at the at a bad angle. And if you pinata them, and you just hold them up and let your teammates, shoot them to death, you're also making yourself vulnerable. So, there's that. Shield isn't particularly great, although you can toggle it on and off and point it around, which is nice, I guess. But, yeah, ever since the Vortex script nerf, where it's not like a 3-second cooldown, or a 3-second stun anymore, it's just... He's fallen off. He's fallen off. Alright. This is causing toxicity? Yeah, we can't please anyone, but I do think this is decent enough. Could see also be named to need buffs. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, why do you feel Corvus is better than Jenos? Well, Corvus, he puts 2 marks on somebody with spreading influence. So you can put a mark on, like, your tank and your flank. You heal the tank pretty much for the same amount as Furia. It's because it's got, like, 3-second cooldown if you heal the tank. And it's also buffed healing on the tank, so you got that. And then you're also healing your flank simultaneously from across the map for about 50% of the heal, which is still pretty darn good, considering it's through all walls, as far away, you can be on literally the other side of the map. So there's that. And then also the life up card, even though it did get nerfed, it's still 15% on 2 different people. So you've got that, and your teammates can heal themselves while you're also healing them. His mobility is also really good. Dagger is fantastic as a movement ability. He's got one of the highest DPS weapons in the support class, especially at close range. It's pretty accurate. Basically just one of Koga's submachine guns, so that's good. His ult is pretty much the only underwhelming thing about him, honestly. But even still, you pop that on a tank. You also throw the projection at them to keep them like double slowed in the ult. You can still get some decent damage on them if you're, using it on the tank, especially big boy tanks like Raum or Inara. So, yeah, there's that. Alright. Well, I think that's it. I mean, looks fine to me. I'm fine with this list. So, I guess we can just end it here. So if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. I know, it's tier list, kind of controversial. People are going to have wildly different opinions. But this is what I think. This is, partially influenced by chat. Chat's helped out a lot with this, some of the positionings, so blame them. But, yeah, still, I think most of us can agree on a lot of these different picks. It's just, the positioning in each of the tiers, maybe some of the B tiers and C tiers, you'll probably want to back up an A, but I don't want just a massive A tier, so that's why some of them are in B, like Ruckus, Koga, Atlas, for example. But yeah, also, make sure to join the Discord server, link in the description if you want to continue talking about tiers and stuff. It's a fun place. Got up like 1,100 members almost, so yeah, go join that. Also, shout out to the members of the channel for helping to make everything possible. I really appreciate all your support. And if you want to become a member today, then just click on the join button right next to the subscribe button. Anyways, I will see you all next time. Peace out.